We are live, you beautiful people.
Hello.
A little early, you bums, but here we are. We are doing another DJ stream. Shout out to the big homie, REVO, who's been a
staple of the channel for quite some time.
A staple of the channel.
Introducing us to new music.
All the time, bro. That's the biggest thing about REVO is that it's music that you are not going to hear on any other metal reaction channel. You really aren't.
Right.
Which is the entire point of the Alliance / Patreon system we have that you guys are taking full advantage of, and I think you're awesome for it. We're just loading up, waiting for the man of the hour to show up. A little bit early. Yes, sir. Daniel Keene, first one in. Fireside. Yes, sir.
There we go. Look at this.
Yeah, REVO is legit. That looks good. That looks
so
good. Pin that
cute.
shit. Pin it. Pin it. Pin it. What's up, everybody? I think we might get a Ben Webb sighting here. We definitely we're gonna have a REVO sighting, because if we don't, we're not gonna do the stream because it's REVO stream.
Oh, he said he was standing by, so I'm sure he's coming.
Yeah, he's gonna show up soon, inshallah, and we're gonna get right into it. It's gonna be legit. I'm very, very excited for this. This is probably gonna be one of the more eclectic streams, I think. I really think so. Okay, so while he's coming, I'm gonna take advantage and load up here. So we got let's see, what are we looking at? Annie, tell me.
I know, I can't stop thinking about it. I was gonna put it on, but then I'm like, yeah, I'll probably do that and our whole stream will get blocked.
What?
That song.
That song?
Yeah. So good.
It's the best written song of all time, in my opinion. Hi, you two. What's up, Metalli Man? I'm assuming that means he's a Metallica fan. Metalli Man. What's up, Metalli Man? Good to see you, buddy.
Imagine if I'm loading this up to put in the description. Imagine I put this.
Good thing you didn't. REVO stream final list.
Oh no.
What happened?
No, if I would have done it.
Oh. That's the official video. Okay.
Yeah, he said he wants the official on that first one, but maybe we could put the lyric over there and play the official over here, so we can still see the official, but it won't block our stream.
What's going on? What's going on? We gotta. Yeah. I mean, we'll wait for REVO. Does he want the actual?
That's what he said. He wants the actual.
Does he want us to? Is it that he wants us to see it?
I mean, I'm assuming.
We gotta wait for him to show up.
Or maybe you're saying, does he want the whole stream to see it?
Yeah, because if
all good questions.
Nobody's gonna see the official video other than the people in the stream. If that's what he wants, we can do it. What's up, Alex? Good to see you, buddy. But there's no way that thing's not gonna be blocked, right?
Right.
Where? Alex McLean in the house. Alex McLean. It looks like McLean, but it's McLean. Pretty sure it's McLean.
Oh, this is so cute.
I know. That looks pretty nice. You did a good job.
All right. I love how our ideas build off each other.
I know.
It's so fun.
I know. It's really cool.
All right. So you want me to email it to you, or you want to just pull it from PicMonkey?
Email it to me, por favor. Alex McLean in the house. Where's REVO? Maybe you email him. Maybe he didn't get the notificación.
Yep, I'll tell him.
Notificación.
Okay, it's going to say overlay in the little teeny tiny REVO
okay.
overlay.
Yep.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Alright. Reply. Come to
How narcissists destroy your dreams and potential.
Oh my God.
Yikes. Tristan in the house. What's up,
also,
Tris?
You have to take accountability for what they're doing to you. It's not all them.
Holy moly.
All right. I'm coming to the stream now.
We've got to do at least an hour on Middle America. Got to do like an Ask Me Anything right after this one, okay?
Oakley dokley.
Oakley dokley. Bonjour, Vin and Sori. Bonjour, bonjour. Bonjour. Everything's good tonight. We're just waiting for the man of the hour, and then we're going to get right into it, y'all. Right into it.
All right. Should I be posting this link up on Facebook and all that?
Yeah. No sweat, Queen Vampire. We don't announce it in advance, and a lot of times it just appears randomly.
We could, though.
Yeah,
I could put up
you
a
could
list
shoot up
on...
a TikTok video and say, "Hey guys,
shut up.
We'll be here at this part, this time." You just need to make one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
I play guitar, thrash metal. If you decide you want some guest musicians on your album, keep me in mind for your charge. For sure.
Oh, where's my internet? Okay, here we
That was such a good comeback by JM. But that guy, he carries water for John MacArthur. So he's there doing his thing. He's there doing his thing for sure. Of course. And who's gonna show up at their national conference? Vadi Bakum.
Oh,
unbelievable.
Really?
Unbelievable.
Surprise.
Yeah. Definitely a surprise for sure. Kyrie in the house. Holy moly. Silver Kyrie. Silver Kyrie was one of my favorite people in the Bible Boogies, man. Like, she always had like such an interesting like take on stuff. She's kind of like Perkinos. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's like Perkinos. I mean, nobody's like as scholarly as Perkinos, but she's got them things. I always used to look for her in the boogies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. There was one time when she was kind of like late or whatever, and people were like, "Let's start." And I was like, "Yeah, let's start." Just I was just waiting for Silver to show up. Yeah, we heard about Joey had a nice little tribute for him last night or whatever. I heard about it like an hour before we started the stream last night. Just terrible, man. Terrible stuff. Was one of your favorite people. When did you stop liking me? I didn't stop liking you. I stopped doing Bible Boogies, so I couldn't mention. Yeah, I couldn't mention it in the present tense. Ya Rasul. And they told me.
Imagine if she wasn't like a favorite person anymore.
I gotta review this thing for
and then she
qualified
says
immunity.
That question. You're like, yeah, I stopped liking you when you know what I mean. Like, that's like an impossible question to answer.
I know. REVO, they always like to put us in those situations.
It's an impossible situation. Well, maybe she assumed that you weren't actually. She just wanted.
There's no way you can recover. No way you can recover.
No. So when did you stop beating your wife?
Yeah. Loaded question.
Honey, why can I never get to the village? That's not gonna work. Here it is. The Vin and Sori village. Okay, whenever I get here, here's create a post. Never mind. It's like when you call the teacher over and suddenly you know what you're doing.
Oh, this dude's got an entire story.
Live stream. Whoa. Live stream for REVO. DJ REVO. Join us now. And the link. There you go. Post. Having an event. Create an event for free.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way for us to fill in events on our Facebook page?
Yeah.
Like a calendar.
Yeah.
Okay, then I need to do that.
Perkinos in the house.
figure out when our
Max Power from Ukraine. Tristan, we've already done Snuff.
Do you think...
I'm listening.
I'm wondering if, like, how do people do those, like, mass emails? You know, if people want to be added to our email, like, there's got to be a way to do that. So they enter their email in, and then we send out the mass one that says, hey.
Yeah. That's a good point. I don't know yet.
Okay. Well,
VC Forever in the house.
Sorry, Forever in the house.
Revo has been a long-time active A99 member. Whoa, Revo's in A99. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, never mind what I heard. Some positive, all good stuff.
I'm pretty... Okay, then even more excited. Let's do it.
Revo just being a good partner.
Tina in the house.
DJ Revo stream.
Spencer is 18 years old. I cannot believe that shit, bro.
Who's that?
It's Ellie and Jared's kid.
Oh.
It's the first diaper I've ever changed in my entire life.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you feel like you did a good job, or was it?
It was a complete joke. They just did it to make fun of me, like, oh, Vin doesn't know.
They just did it to make fun.
Oh yeah, and then it was they wanted to go out on a date, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay, I'll watch the kid. It was me, Shorty, and Natalie. None of us knew how to change a diaper.
For real?
So like he's on the ground, and the three of us are just encircling him, like, how do we do this shit? And of course I put it on backwards. Like I put the whole thing on backwards. I was actually pretty proud of myself. I was
when you go to like lay them down, but you don't know what you're doing, and so they're like kind of like slow about it.
Yeah, and Spenny was a he was one of those like chill babies. So like he didn't move around. He just stood there looking at us like, are you gonna change me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Shorty's like, nah. I ain't
yeah, go ahead.
She's like, well, aren't they coming back in like an hour or two? I was like, well, they have us babysitting for a reason. I don't think it's so that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, we got to do this shit. Archero in the house. Where's the big homie Revo? Yeah, I know. That's like what we've been waiting for. A99 is a group that everyone is telling me to join for stabbing, Westward, and 9 Inch Nails and Orgy, right? Whoa. Stabbing, Westward, 9 Inch Nails, and Orgy. That's okay. Okay. Interesting. And they told me I should concentrate. It was all so strange and so surreal that a girl should be.
Oh, he said he's already on the stream, but if you're bringing him on audio, he needs a link for that.
No, I'm not doing that. I didn't see him in the stream, but if he says he's in the stream, you can see it.
Yeah, he just told me he's in the stream. What do you mean you're not doing that? You told him you wanted him on audio.
Oh yeah, for one of the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So do you want us to do? I haven't seen him in here. Maybe.
Revo, I don't know what your name is on YouTube. Can you just type Revo as a comment?
Either that or text us. Like, what do you?
Yeah. Send me an email back. Tell me who you are. Like on the. What are we
like
for?
maybe he's incognito on purpose. You know what I'm saying?
Oh no, that says Revo B here. Is
That's
that him? The revolutionist?
Oh, okay. So Revo, for the Twisted Sister song, it's definitely gonna get blocked if we put it on the thing. So, do you want it directly in the stream, or do you want to? Is it just that you want us to see the official video? If you want the whole stream to see the official video, that's cool. We can do that live. Obviously, when we put it up on YouTube, it's not gonna be like that. So just tell us what you want, bro.
Because we can play the official video on my computer so Vin and I can see it. And then it won't get blocked because it's not getting played over there.
Right.
So just let us know what you want to do here. All right, I'm going to pull up the stream. See what we have. Where's the big homie Revo? Hi, Tina.
The what? I'm listening.
The chat doesn't seem to be moving very fast. Oh, there's only 29 people.
Yeah, we're in good shape.
Okay, so I've seen someone posted the official video reaction, but you guys decide. I do want you guys to see the official. Okay, so we've said it before. Perhaps you've missed this, but other channels, they stop the song partway through, and if you stop the song and chop it up like that, then you can play the official like that, and they can still make their revenue. Because we respect the artists, we don't want to break up their songs. We listen to the whole thing fully through, and that's what gets us blocked. So, he said they don't really stop. What do you mean they don't really stop? They're doing something. I mean, send me the link right now and I'll check it out. But there's different stuff that they do. They either chop up the song, or they speed it up or slow it down, or sometimes they'll fade the video in and out and stuff like that. We don't have the capabilities of fading videos in and out for one at this point. And oh yeah, you're talking to Kai.
Yeah.
So anyway, so if you just are only concerned about like us seeing the official, we'll watch the official on this side and we'll put up a lyric video over there.
I don't know their reaction channel. It doesn't do. Okay, well we'll do it.
Yeah, we can do it.
We'll do the official video. Nope. We'll just do the official video. We're about to start right now.
Get blocked for you.
We're gonna start right now. Okay, guys, here we go. Here is our stream. Now, you guys know the deal. We're going to do a little commercial and we're going. We got the REVO day. This is, I'll say this right. So we had Prog Day yesterday, and today is like eclectic day. We're going to be all over the place. Like, I'm looking at the bands. I'm like, holy shit. Like, different times, generations, whole 9 yards. Yeah. So this one's going to be a very interesting one. The first one coming up is TWIZTED Sister. And we shall return very shortly, dear listener. Stand by. Vin,
I'm sorry.
if you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is a community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed!
And a child to lead them. So our first song of the REVO stream is TWIZTED Sister.
Yes, TWIZTED Sister, ladies and gents.
Working, so babe, you're gonna have to tell us what the name of that song is.
The name of the song is We're Not Gonna Take It, right? I'm pretty sure that this is like their classic song. It's something like School or something like that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's the same song, but they did a song about school, and that was like their big thing.
Really?
So I'm pretty sure.
We're Not Going to Take It. Yeah, that's the name of it.
Yeah, it's something about school, I think.
Okay.
Let's go, guys. The first song on the REVO stream. Dear listener, if you would like to be a DJ, reach out to Soraya or me, vinsori@gmail.com. We can hook you up. Also, if you're interested in the political world and you're a glutton for punishment and suffering, check us out at Middle America with Vin and Sori. Having said that, the moment has arrived. TWIZTED Sister We're not going to take it anymore. People are mad about school. Let's go.
Pass the carrots, please.
It's a miserable ass.
Excuse, please.
Lyrics.
Yes, dear.
Uh-oh.
What is that? I know what that is. That's music.
Douglas, see, please. He's just a child.
Don't Douglas see me.
Miserable ass dad. I remember them days. I remember them days by Ibanez.
All right, mister, what do you think you're doing? You call this a room? This is a pigsty. I want you to straighten up this area now. You are a disgusting slob. Stand up straight. Tuck in that shirt. Adjust that belt buckle. Tie those shoes. Twisted sister. What is that? Wipe that smile off your face. Do you understand? What is that? A Twisted Sister pin on your uniform? What kind of a man are you?
Ah, here we go.
You're worthless and weak. You do nothing. You are nothing. You sit in here all day and play that sick, repulsive, electric twanger. I carried an M16 and you carry that guitar. Who are you? Where do you come from? Are you listening to me? What do you want to do with your life?
I want to rock.
Oh my God! One riff sent it through the roof? Oh, the kids head banging. guy keeps getting abused through this video, bro. Alrighty then, that was Twisted Sister.
Yeah, I think
that chorus, I'm familiar with the chorus. This was not about the school. This wasn't about the school. I thought it was about the school,
not at all.
But I've heard, I'm certain I've heard that chorus. We're not gonna take.
Yeah.
I don't know where I heard it, but I'm almost damn near certain I've heard that chorus. The rest of the song, I had no idea. I was pretty certain this was gonna be like have a school theme to it. Remember I talked at the beginning?
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. Well, you know what?
And I was wrong again.
Wasn't there a song by the guy that plays Kung Fu Panda? Oh, I can't see it now.
Jack Black.
Yeah, Jack Black. He has a band, and there was something like that in there where the kid gets in trouble for playing rock music.
Yeah. Well, it was probably inspired by this video. Because these guys, see, people are saying, oh no, that's because the song just got blocked.
Yep, stream unavailable. Suspended.
Look.
What'd he say?
Look. He goes, YouTube's not going to take it. Okay, so apparently it was a pretty big hit song and video. And as we predicted, the stream got suspended a little bit because it was the official video, and that's okay. So that means you're gonna okay, so this is what this means. If you're watching this, if you're watching this on regular YouTube, you missed the official video because our stream got completely blocked and canceled because we played the official video. And the filthy capitalist at the record label did that, so now you get to see the modified version. It doesn't matter.
I said, let me be petty here and say I told you so. Like a child.
We've been doing
Vin
this.
hates it when I do that with him.
We've been doing this for a little bit. So.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can't stand I told you so. Especially when it comes from you. I can't tolerate it. It's intolerable when it comes from you.
So I decided I'll push that on other people.
The reason is because I'm usually right like 95% of the time, and I very rarely do I told you so. So then you get one time when you're right, and it's just
yeah. Well, why would I not?
Yeah, it's like my brother. He beat me in Street Fighter one time, and then he retired after that. He never played after that.
All right, so
this was REVO's plan all along. This is the revolution that made his namesake. Did I tell you about Kyrie? Like, she's the best. She's the funny. Well, she's the funniest. Okay, don't stress it, REVO. Okay, don't stress it. We knew what was going to happen, but at the end of the day, when it's a DJ stream, the DJ runs the stream. We're just a facilitator. So you got nothing to apologize for, REVO. We're in it to win it. Okay. Having said that, let's go into the song. Okay, so this wasn't the school song, but you know.
Okay, so there's a couple things that I noticed from the song.
The beginning of the video was almost as long as the song. The song was like 3 minutes 25 seconds, and the beginning of the video was like 3 minutes long. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I think that. Well, I mean, I don't know why you're apologizing. I actually cut you off. I think that this song is very important, especially for the time period, because at that point in time, okay, when did this come out?
What was
84.
Okay.
I was gonna
Holy
guess
moly.
around then. There was a lot of pressure on kids to listen to certain types of music, and certain types of music were rejected for being satanic or evil, or you know what I mean. And Twisted Sister, I'm sure, was one of those that people didn't want their kids listening to. And so I think that there are so many kids that were in this situation.
Go ahead.
Where their parents hadn't acclimated to the music and they'd come and shut it down, set up, pull up your,
Oh, yeah.
button your, all this different stuff, all this pressure that people put on their kids. And I think that in some instances, it's necessary. So, for instance, I was talking to this woman, she was a missionary in Russia, and the living conditions were extremely difficult. And so she did not baby her son as he was growing up because she knew that he was going to need that strong resolve. And so, if he fell and she could see that he was okay and he wasn't seriously injured, she would let him find that, dig deep and get up on his own. He was very young. And I could see where she was coming from that. Well, on the other hand, you have parents who are expecting this sort of rigidness from their kids, button up, put all of that. And I'm saying, what's the reason for that? Is the reason for that because you're preparing them for something? Or is it because you don't want your kids to look a certain way in front of the rest of the neighborhood, the rest of your town and stuff? Are they a reflection on you to the degree that you feel devalued if they don't look or act a certain way? If that's the case, then you're going after them for the wrong reasons, and that needs to be abandoned.
Yeah. I mean,
how many careers were ended or never started because parents shut down the music industry to their kids?
Yeah, and this was it. Dee Snider.
There's probably somebody listening right now that could have been a great.
Dee Snider was kind of like cross-dressing, right?
That's what it looked like to me.
And they call the band Twisted Sister. It's a dude. I mean, this is the early '80s,
Yeah.
And Dee was probably 30 years old, so that means he was around in the 50s. So for him to show up kind of blurring gender lines as a popular,
and calling himself a sister.
And the band is called Sister and things are twisted. A lot of these parents, I'm certain, because these kids, so these parents would have came up in their formative years in the 50s. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And now you got these 80s kids who are trying to eke out their own whatever. And now they're listening to these cross-dressing guys who are blurring gender lines. And you came up in the 50s. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now your kid is doing all that with the guitar and all. He's like, I carried an M16. Probably means he was, in Vietnam probably. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? A guy who that must have been such an interesting age gap, because all kids have an age gap with their parents, generationally speaking, but there are some that cover so many transitional moments. Mm-hmm. So I think that that generational gap in the 80s was probably the biggest gap.
I think,
maybe of the last 100 years, because if you came up in the 50s, you came from a segregated nuclear family is the only family. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that they rejected other, iterations of what a family is. Literally all they thought was the nuclear family was the only kind of family that you would have. Mm-hmm. And men provided and shot people if the government told us to do that. Mm-hmm. And women stayed home and baked cakes and all that. Mm-hmm. That's the 50s. Okay. Then you had all the revolutions that happened in the 60s. And if you were a conservative, which this guy represents, you were on the complete wrong side of all of those revolutions in the 60s. Same thing about the 70s when you had the hippie movement and things like that.
Yep.
Okay. So that's around the time you would have had a kid in the mid 70s. Okay. So your kid is a baby. He's completely unconscious in the 70s as far as what's going on. Mm-hmm. But then again, that's another major transition going from, the hippie movement to what's now modern America. If you're a conservative, all this stuff is stuff you cannot understand and you can't fathom, because you were on the other side of all of those cultural debates, but you lost all of them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So now you've got a kid yourself, and your kid is now reflecting, America in the early 80s. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's so many things that are going into the generation gap in the 80s that would trigger these parents, whether it's, oh, you're listening to this cross-dressing person, like not even the sexual revolutionists in the 60s were doing that, you know, at least not, you know, explicitly. It was just a lot of, you know, free love bra burning. But I could definitely see an older parent like us. We're kind of, there's almost no generation gap between us and our kids because we're conversant with all their music. You know, we understand their music. You know, we introduced them to music. We're like, you haven't heard that. We introduced them to Eminem. I did. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's different now. Like the gap is not as stark now. If you're a parent and you want to understand your kids, like you can have a lot of frame of references. Whereas in that time period, man, I don't know. I think it was a terrifying time for those parents.
Oh, I'm sure. And when you think about like musical history, from my understanding, they didn't have stuff that kind of had that rock sound to it. When did rock and all that stuff become popularized? What year would that have been?
Say that again. What year did rock music become
like
popularized?
Rock and like harder stuff, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of
I
classical.
think I'd say
everybody
the 80s.
sitting around the radio together at night. Shout out to Biden, you know,
President Biden to you.
President Biden. Everybody sitting around the radio. You know, they weren't listening to hard rock. They were listening to classical stuff and whatnot. So when did it switch where there was more stuff like that available? What year would that have been?
Well, I think
that's the same time period.
I think it's
right?
a time period. Metallica.
It's a lot. It's a lot for a
Metallica,
certain generation to take in and to change.
100%. 100%. And
But
like
it's
I said,
sad because the father.
I could see a conservative parent, especially guys. Like conservative guys are generally the hardest people to get, you know, up with the times. See what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I can see how it would be hard for, like, I feel like you would have said, let's say you were in that situation, I feel like you would have said, I carried an M16 so you could rock that guitar.
Well, yeah.
Because you don't want to see an M16 in the hands of your kid.
Well, yeah, of course, but I'm a person who came into consciousness about American foreign policy post the Vietnam era. Okay? So when you're in the middle of getting propagandized by your government, you don't know so for example, I was all about the Iraq war.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was really all about those wars. So
Right.
I mean, I'm against them now. I repudiate them now, but at the time,
You're all in.
You're all in. But
Yeah.
but at the same time, when one of the things that got me to really reconsider Iraq was Vietnam.
Oh, really?
Right? People were saying, look, bro, they lied us into Vietnam. We did all this nonsense with Vietnam and we shouldn't have been there. Cost a bunch of American lives and killed a bunch of beautiful Vietnamese people. Right? As a matter of fact, we've got Viet Cong every time. Yeah, right there. Look, see? Literally every single time. This guy. Go follow this guy on Twitter. He's got one of the most uplifting channels on Twitter because it's all landscapes and pictures and live action shots of Vietnamese people and their habitat, and it's unbelievably beautiful. Which, you know, it just makes it even worse that we went to that country and napalmed those people and did all that shit to those people.
Yeah.
So, you know, I had Vietnam to look at. What did a kid in the 60s have to look at? World War II. Well, we were heroes in World War II. Mm-hmm. I mean, you had the Korean War, you had a stalemate. But, I mean, the last major conflict, you know, in the 50s, we just got out of World War II. That's when he came up. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so those were virtuous wars. Those were just wars. And so it would have been easy to get a guy to strap up and go to Vietnam.
Right.
Right? Because we were saying, that's the sound guy. We were saying, you know, hey, you know, we're the good guys. And it became very, very clear, you know, Jane Fonda, like I'm not a fan of Jane Fonda, but it was clear that we were committing all these war crimes and all the rest of it. And then the way that the soldiers were treated when they got back is something that has never happened, not much in American history, but human history as a whole.
Yeah, that's just sad.
So that's the time period. So this song is like, I'm sure, I mean, it's 3 minutes long. I'm sure people are looking at it like, oh my God, like.
Well, I just feel like
it's a pop song. People are like, oh, it's a pop song. But I think there's a lot of they were trying to say something with that video. You see what I'm saying? Like they were trying to say
Absolutely.
something bigger than this is a 3.5 minute pop song is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and I think that they were understanding that if you were to be a fan of theirs and someone who was one of their avid supporters, you were going to inevitably, for the most part, especially if you were a kid, going to come up against controversies because of them. Right. So, in this video, they show up at the boy's house and confront the dad for the boy. But the boy still stood up for himself, but then they all come in and they help out with that. And so I think that there's got to be, if you feel that something is right and the rest of the world feels that it's wrong, and then someone smaller and younger than you throws in with you and agrees with you, and then they go through their own little mini persecutions because of it. I mean, any good leader or person would be like, oh, I hate that that's happening to them because I'm making my stand, but shout out to them for doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think that this song was very important for this band to do, and I actually respect them for putting this song out. And shout out to all of our listeners that kind of went through this experience growing up. Their love of music and their love of art kind of led them down different paths, and this might have been, or another one might have been their thing, and their parents didn't understand it, didn't get it, because like you said, there was a generational gap. There's a lot of things, oh my gosh. So I went to get my hair done, and there was this older lady that was there, and she was like, excuse me. She asks my hairdresser, excuse me. She said, I don't know why when my messages are coming in, there's like a circle with like a line through it. And she's like, so for some reason it's not making any noise, and I don't know what's happening. I literally laughed out loud.
Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
I went, ha! Because I couldn't believe how ridiculous and simultaneously how cute that stupid question was. I said, your notifications are probably turned off. So anyway, there is a major gap, and I think that, our parents are kind of like trying to like get into that gap and like be on their cell phones and stuff like that, but they don't get it as much as our generation does. And I think we understand our kids more than our parents could understand us because of so much change that was happening. So with that said, I think this song is extremely important, and it had a fun little sound to it, and I appreciated the video, and even especially like the part where the dad was yelling at the kid about it. I think that there are times you have to raise your voice to make sure the kids understand where you're coming from, but on something like this, I feel like, the father was completely inappropriate in handling the situation this way and yelling at the kid in anger over this. But so shout out to all of our villagers who've been in this situation and yet survived, and here you are listening to our channel. We approve of you.
Yeah. Yeah, which is, yeah. Yeah, but I do think that there's something to be said about that, though. I really do. I think, it's really interesting, like, and I don't want to be misinterpreted here, but there's a lot, there's a big heavy primer in our community about, our parents understanding us and things of that nature. And I think that that's important, obviously. But some of this is also, we need to try to get into the mindset of these people and understand them. Especially if you were an 80s kid and you had a bad experience with your parents, like trying to understand why they did what they did sometimes has a real healing effect on you. Because the more you look into their mindset and their mentality, the less and less it becomes about my dad was going after me versus my dad was terrified at a changing country and a country that he couldn't understand and he couldn't get his arms around. And so, and so I became an icon or a symbol or the embodiment of a country that's left him behind, and he didn't know how to reconcile himself to that. That is a completely different narrative than my dad just hated me, which is how when you're a kid, you're not thinking about all those sociological ramifications and how that would affect the psychology of your parent. Yeah. You're just thinking he hated me.
Yeah. I think it's also, I do think there was a lot of fear because there was so much was unknown and so much was so
100%.
new.
100%.
And so if, like, for instance, my parents were taught a lot by this local church, and the local church was very quick to literally demonize anything they didn't understand. And so, you remember the Furby toy?
Yes.
That weird thing. That
Yes.
thing was demonic. Remember, you could put them side by side and they would talk to each other and they would learn off each other. Like it was AI, you know, like very beginnings of AI for toys. And they said that it was demonic. So if you don't know anything about the topic and people that are around you that you respect and have been your teachers tell you those are demonic, if you love your kid, you don't want your kid around demon toys.
Right.
You know, so
Right.
those parents were pulling out voice boxes on the toys. They were doing all kinds of stuff to try to protect their kids.
Yeah.
Now, it looks crazy because, I mean,
Well, that's
yeah,
because it is crazy.
It is crazy.
It's objectively crazy.
What they were doing was, but why they were doing it
The
wasn't
motivation.
crazy.
The motivation
was
right.
fear,
Right.
and they were trying to protect their kids.
Yeah.
And so I think
I
that
agree.
especially in that time period, like you said, cross-dressing, being gay, any of that stuff was completely unacceptable, like beyond the pale unacceptable. And so this band is playing this music that was new sounds. They're dressing like that. It's just altogether too much for the parents, and they don't know why you like the song. They don't know if you like the song because the man has a wig and is dressed like a woman, or I don't know if he has a wig. Maybe that was probably his real hair.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? So I think that the parents were in a really complicated situation, and depending on the way that other people were talking to them about it or what people were saying about it, would really formulate their thoughts on it. And then, you know, sometimes extreme reactions happen, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like probably now the parents look back, like my parents look back, whenever I bring up that we weren't allowed to watch Disney to my mom, she always goes, because it's embarrassing for her now. She's like, holy moly, like it was just way overboard. There's just too much stuff. It was way too rigid. But, you know, and like the music and like everything, like it was just very strict environment.
Yeah,
but they were doing what they thought was right at the time.
100%. That's
You can't fault them for trying to do their best.
Yeah, but I just think that they, you know, and Tina's saying Twisted Sister was not cross-dressing, so she'd know more about it than us.
Well, no. Maybe they weren't cross-dressing, but to a family that looks at, he was wearing pink clothing.
Right.
He had makeup
long
on.
hair,
and he had
long
long
hair.
hair.
And then,
so regardless of if you want to categorize it as cross-dressing or not, to a conservative parent, that was at least on the verge of cross-dressing. He's dressing like a woman, and that would be completely unacceptable. The man shouldn't be in a pink like that. No makeup, no, you know.
Yeah. No, I get it.
We understand, Tina, the you know, men were wearing makeup and wigs and all that way back then. But that's not the context my parents were coming from. They were wearing heels way back in the whatever year that was. So,
sure.
But that wasn't in our parents' consciousness. It was...
Yeah, it was not mainstream. That's the
Yeah.
issue, is that a band like this mainstream's kind of blurring things, and for a conservative, and as I was saying, like he's saying, they didn't protect their kids. The majority of those kids grew up messed up in the head, hating any kind of religion. I'm lucky and blessed enough to have truly found God and love. Shout out to Daniel. Yeah, I get that. For me, it's more...
But that wasn't their goal.
I'm just saying, try to understand your parents more in the therapeutic sense, that I just think it's if you understand why they were the way they were, you can take it less personally, although sometimes it was a I'm attacking you personally thing.
Right.
For example, if the kid was gay.
Yep.
That's I'm attacking you
Or
personally.
even the way the father was talking to this kid in the song.
Yeah, and parents, man, like parents, you really, really, really gotta check what you're saying to your kids, man. And there's like 2 or 3 phrases that my mom used that like I remember to this day. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure, you know, if she could have taken it back, she would have. Mm-hmm. And you know, and that's why I'm very intentional about talking to the kids and checking in with them. Mm-hmm. You know, as a parent, you got to do that. You got to say, hey, how are we doing? How are you doing? Tell me in the last 30 days something I've said that's really hurt you. And look, sometimes, and I tell the kids, just because you were hurt doesn't mean you were wronged. Mm-hmm. But I want to know, right? Because, and I do a little 30-day check-ins because it gives me time. It gives me and the kids time away from the issue so that our emotions are not as, you know, high.
Yeah.
And then, you know, they can say, and I can hear with a little less defensiveness and stuff. But just, you know, all those kinds of things. Anyway, I got to give this a 10.
Me too.
I got to give it a
Me
10
too.
because Very relevant, still relevant, and definitely a popular song and very radio friendly, I'm sure. But they were saying a lot of really, really, really deep stuff here.
100%.
That is timeless for parents, obviously, and kids. So, what did you give it?
I gave it a 10 as well.
There you are, dear listener. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. All right, guys. That was Twisted Sister. Holy moly. Good first shot out there. A shot of the classical. That's gotta be one of their more popular songs, I'm sure. I agree they had my best intentions in mind. I just wish I understood that earlier in life kids will be kids though. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It does.
I don't know why parents are not encouraged to have those check-in conversations with their kids. I think that would be it's been very helpful for us for sure.
Well, I think that times are changing in the sense that back when, I'll go with my father's parents. Back when my father's parents were raising them, they didn't have a lot of the modern conveniences. A man went and he worked all day long. My grandfather worked so many hours, it was ridiculous, and he barely made any money.
And moms worked harder
I'm
than
just talking
today
about
too,
their particular
because there were no
situation.
babysitters, and you had about 4 or 5 kids.
Right, and so my grandmother was my meme. She was raising all the kids. She was taking care of the house. She was doing all the things that she was doing on her. I think that there just wasn't a whole lot of time, and because times were so hard, she was probably like, they were probably just trying to survive. I think survival was more of a thing than it is now. Like now I think that there's so many different side projects that people have, like side hustles and stuff like that. Like I think that there can be more time. I think we spend a lot more time on TV than our great grandparents did.
Oh.
Stuff like that. Like there is more time.
100%.
Also, REVO, I could email this, but it would be just easier for me to just say it out loud. So I don't see the songs that you listed for us to do today. I don't see them on your list on Trello. So if you can, I don't know if you're changing some of the songs that are on Trello to be those, if you can change them so I have something to click off as we get it done, if that makes sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to you, send me an email.
Okay. Can we go into the next song? Next song now, you weirdo? No?
Yeah, we can. Okay, so the next one is, do you have it?
Well, I was just setting up my buddy Revo right there. Boop.
Okay, Shin Yong Hyun. Beautiful Rivers and Mountains. That I can read.
Okay, I'm gonna put. Okay, all right, guys, we got the next song on the way. There's my buddy Revo right there.
Oh, he wasn't on the screen before.
He wasn't on the screen for the first
Hi,
one, inshallah.
Revo.
We shall return. We shall return, you brats. Vin,
I'm sorry.
if you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
By our mulch indeed, and a child shall lead them. This, dear listener, is Tell the People who this
song,
is.
It's another language, so I'll do my best.
Yes, do your best, loser.
Oh no, I lost it now.
It's Shin Jung Hyun, Beautiful Rivers and Mountains. This is a K-pop song, is it?
I don't know.
I think it's a K-pop song. REVO is our resident K-pop expert, connoisseur, whatever you want to say. And the thing about K-pop was that really struck us was these guys were saying, and the girls too, they were saying some real
deep stuff,
deep social commentary that was like hidden in pop music and dances and such.
There was, remember I just pointed it out to you? I said, look, now I see this differently. It was something about music where they were...
Okay, he says, no, it's a psychedelic rock song from the 1970s. Okay, psychedelic rock. Okay, so it's not a K-pop song then.
Oh.
It's from 1972, and it's a psychedelic, like a Korean psychedelic rock band. This should be interesting. This should be very, very interesting. Yeah. Okay, so DC is saying legends, so I guess she knows who they are. So let's just not talk about it. So they're a Korean. It's a Korean song. Okay, so listen, REVO, throughout the song, put some commentary on there, and we will post it. We will post it on the stream. Okay, because I think that'll be pretty cool to have REVO's commentary. Give me a second.
Oh.
Hey. All right, guys, we're back.
We returned.
Sorry about that.
That's so funny. I would have never answered that call.
Yeah, I know. It was a cutter of a law.
Yep.
Surprise, surprise. We've got some ongoing issues here internally. Surprise, surprise. And so that's a call we had to take. But we're back. We're back on the REVO stream. This is a psychedelic Korean rock band, which is really cool. So psychedelic. That's kind of like Pink Floydian type of shit,
yeah,
DMT type of shit. So I'm pretty excited.
Me too.
Okay, so here we go, guys. The Beautiful Mountains or something like that? And let's go.
하늘은 파랗게 구름은 하얗게 실바람도 불어와 부르는 내 마음 나무잎 부르게 강물도 부르게 아름다운 이곳에 내가 있고 내가 있네 손잡고 가보자 달려보자 저 광야로 우리들 모여서 말해보자 새 희망을 하늘은 파랗게 구름은 하얗게 실바람도 불어와
Whoa. I hope you guys were watching the commentary on the thingamajig. I'm actually going to leave these lyrics up here, actually, so we can break them down.
I got them right here.
Okay, so that was this band, and it had a lot of... The big thing that I wanted to
There's so much depth to all the songs, like so much history, and you wouldn't know it by the sounds of the song.
I know. It just sounds like
a fun little song that you could, like, frolic around in a field with.
Yeah. And okay, so
you want to read it just from here? This might be easier.
Well, here's the salient point here. And,
okay.
Put it on the screen. This is like the biggest thing for me was that. Do you still have us up on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So the military dictator Park at the time asked him to write a patriotic song for him. He said no. He wrote this song instead, which is basically, it's a love song, right? And it's a celebration of, I mean, you could kind of look at it as patriotic because he's talking about the beauty of nature.
Well, it couldn't have been patriotic. They put him in jail.
Well, what I'm saying is, I think they wanted him to write a nationalist song. There's a difference between nationalism and patriotism.
Okay.
So if he were to say, look, our country has all these beautiful mountains and rivers and things like that. Like, for example, you can't write this song if you're in Saudi Arabia. Mm-hmm. So that's what I'm saying. Like, there is a sense in which this is a geographical marker of their country, in which case a person could still say that it's patriotic. Mm-hmm. But that's not what the guy was going for. He was going for nationalism because he wanted to use music as propaganda.
Yeah.
And, that's something that artists have to deal with. And we're talking about this yesterday in the stream where we're talking about the government's attempt to limit what happens on social media because media is kind of the last bastion against any form of tyranny. Mm-hmm. So, they were wise enough to say, this dude is particularly gifted in music and he's a brilliant songwriter. So let's have him write a song that promotes, my nationalist agenda and propagandize everybody. And instead, he wrote a song about love. And the closest you could get to patriotism is the specific geographical, whatever he's talking about here. And I just think that's the bravery of some of these people is just mind-boggling to me.
I know. You know why? Because I've always thought of myself doing something heroic in two situations. One is for my religion, and two is for my children. But not for my, where I, I'm not going to jail for my art, and I'm not going to jail. The integrity of your art form? I'm not doing it. I'm not going to jail for that. And this guy was just rotting in jail until the guy got assassinated. Can you imagine? That's very stressful in my mind.
Yeah, but
and it's not like he wrote a song that was basically like "fuck you" to the government. I mean, he just wrote about
love. I mean, really, the song's ultimately about love.
You gonna jail him for that because he didn't do what they said, though, and it's obvious to everybody.
Yeah, and again, I think when you're in the context of if you like for example, let's say you were an artist and the person wanted you to say something against BLM. I don't think you'd write that song. No. So, yeah, it's the integrity of his art, but it's also, he didn't want to be part of what they were doing. He didn't agree with what they were doing.
I just would have written no songs. I wouldn't have put a song that would put me to jail. But writing no songs would have been the same thing.
I mean, writing no songs would be worse, right? Because the guy gave you a specific command. So, and it's not like he wrote an F the government song.
I know.
He was just celebrating love.
I just want to be separated from my babies.
How about we celebrate love?
Kids.
You can go back to YouTube real quick.
Yeah.
President Park ran a national healthy culture program that promoted nationalism and we are working hard to build up our economic output. His program worked. It led to enormous economic gains. Okay, so this is the thing. Like, if the dictator is quote unquote horrible or whatever, but he improves the quality of life in your country, then as Americans, we're so big on quote unquote democracy that we think democracy is the only governmental structure that can work. And as we've seen, you're never going to outrun human nature. There's no political system that is going to undo human nature. And so we supposedly have a democracy in America, so that makes us superior. That means we have a superior government to the Koreans. But this guy, without democracy, improved the quality of life for Koreans, and we have which we obviously don't have a democracy, because the last 2 elections, people did not vote for anyone. They voted against someone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the vast majority of evangelical Christians were not giving full-throated support to Donald Trump, but they could not vote for Hillary. And nobody was voting because they liked Biden. It's because they couldn't vote for Trump. So,
right.
So where is the democracy? You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah, completely. If we're basically forced into a corner like that, then yeah, agreed.
Yeah. So, it's a very, very, very interesting time period, and an interesting thing to think about, especially if it garnered massive economic gains for that country, which we know improves the quality of life, all over the place. But obviously there's the drawback of he had this sort of autocratic power. And I understand that. And obviously, as an American who believes that democracy is the best form of government, because I'm an American, we go, oh my God, he was a dictator or whatever. But it's like, okay, so we've now got our government going to social media platforms, telling them who to deplatform, who not to deplatform, and then saying things like, hey, we're going to go if you get banned from one, you should be banned from them all. So we're in a soft dictatorship in America, but these people are not drastically.
That's crazy.
There's no trade-off right now in our country. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's no trade-off where we could say, well, they're evil bastards, but look, we've got this giant economic boom. Like, we can't even say that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things. It's a really, really, really holy shit. They had 8.5% GDP annual growth in the 60s. Wow. See, if that was the case, if you jumped your GDP 9%, I mean Trump was saying he was going to get to 2, and Obama was laughing at him. Obama mocked Trump.
9%.
They jumped up 9%. Like, that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
See, at that point, I would say I would have wrote the song for the homie.
You would have?
Absolutely. Because that shit happened in the 60s. So they had a 9% GDP bounce in the 60s. That improved the quality of life for millions of people in their country. I would have wrote the song for him. I'd be like, whatever, man. Just keep it moving. Why wouldn't I? He's helping people. Just because he's not just because it's not democracy. I mean, I don't care. I'd have wrote the song for him for sure.
Well, what did he want in the song?
I don't know. He wanted some patriotic kind of song. You know what I'm saying? Like, he wanted a song that was full of patriotism in South Korea. I mean, I don't know. That's a very interesting situation. I have a friend that left here to teach English in South Korea. He said it's a different world and really doesn't want to come back. I mean, maybe that speaks against him, but look, the South Koreans have the best internet in the world. That just shows you. I mean, I don't know.
It's going to be depending on where you lived over there.
Those are the reasons they elected his daughter. She promised that she could get economic gains without the corruption. She's now in prison. Subhanallah.
Yeah, and I was confused, Revo. That you said that when she was being impeached, her supporters played this song? You'd think that they wouldn't, because basically I feel like this is more like an F you to her dad. And then this is...
I think she was coming out saying that she's not going to be like her dad. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's why they played that song.
Why would her supporters play that song?
Because it's showing that she's not like her dad. Because her dad put the dude in prison for doing the song, and now they're using it. So they're aligning. They're aligning themselves with that. It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I would have wrote the song for the guy. I would have wrote it. He wouldn't even have had to ask me. If you get somebody that can improve the GDP by 9%. And get them to where they are. I mean, their infrastructure is superior to ours right now. That's a fact. I mean, we've got a massive landmass to deal with. Mm-hmm. There's that, and obviously there's a relationship with us, but everybody has a relationship with us if they want to have a developed country. So, like, I don't know, man. I get it. As Americans, we're prone to thinking, oh, if a person's a dictator, they have absolute power. That means they're automatically evil, and democracy is always better. But I'm not sure that democracy is always better when you factor in human nature. Because we haven't had when have we had a democracy in America? The last 2 elections, which accounts for what, the last 4 to 8 years, nobody has voted for someone.
Exactly.
So we're under the dictatorship of a cabal of people who, they keep playing the shell game with us between left wing and right wing, and nothing is changing. And then we have the audacity to judge other political structures. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I agree.
It's really interesting. The song became a national anthem of sorts in their 1990s after they became a democracy. And I get it. That's great. But we Americans just think our understanding of government and how things work is like the way that things should be. And I'm not sure of that.
Yeah.
There's a reason we had to initiate term limits. And the question is term limits, is that really truly democracy? Because if the people really want that guy, then who are you to say that they can't? See what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that you have to really think through. And it's not as simple as a lot of people want us to think. But go ahead. You have. So I said I would have wrote the song for the homie. You look like you have an issue with that. So talk to me about that.
The reason that I think that I have an issue is because I'm not sure if I completely understand the situation. So they're free or not free at this time? The people. Are you saying?
It depends. It depends on how you define freedom.
Okay. Are they being oppressed? And this government is telling them, even though you're oppressed and all this and that is happening, I still want you to sing the praises of how much gains we've gotten financially so we can tell the world how great we are when there's literally some very obvious issues.
Well, I think every government to a degree oppresses its people.
Yeah, but you get what I mean.
No, I don't get what you mean, because again, these are American presuppositions. So for example, are you a free person in America?
Yeah, I'm not an oppressed person in America. I'm not free completely, but I'm not oppressed.
How can you be free and not oppressed simultaneously?
Because freedom is... Nobody's ever going to be fully free because... I could say I don't have freedoms because I have to follow the speed limit. I definitely feel like I don't have freedoms. I feel like I don't have freedoms that the government takes my taxes and pays to abort children. I have a problem with that. I don't feel like that's freedom. But them putting speed limits is for the greater good. Huh?
That's not oppression?
Well, I guess I was defining... If they took
money out of your pocket?
No, I guess I wouldn't have categorized it as oppression. I categorize oppression as it's directly affecting my family and my life. Like, that affects me emotionally as far as what's going on with that.
Well,
but
they're
not going to come in and abort my kids or come in and tell me I can't have X amount of kids.
So if you walk down the street every day, right? Somebody went to you at gunpoint and took your money every day. Would you call that person an oppressive person?
Yes.
That's what a tax is, right? It's government taking money at gunpoint.
Yeah, I do see what you're saying. It is forced. And if we don't, we could go to jail. I see what you're saying.
It's at gunpoint, because if you say no, then they come to arrest you. And if you say, no, I'm not going to prison, which is a deprivation of your freedom, they can kill you. And they will kill you.
Yeah.
So how is that not oppression? They're taking money out of your pocket, money that could have went into your kid's mouth, and they're using it to kill other children. So
that's a problem.
How is that not oppression?
That's oppressive.
Okay.
I wasn't looking at it like that.
What about all my left wing friends?
What about them?
During the Iraq invasion?
Yeah.
They didn't support the Iraq invasion. They were completely against it. We took their tax dollars. We took money out of their pockets.
Yep.
And we put it toward a war to kill a bunch of innocent people that all our left wing friends were against. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like I the founding fathers would have been like, what the fuck is this? There would have been another war. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because what the founding fathers of this country called oppression and tyranny was just really exorbitant taxes in their mind state. So if I just stayed on taxes, they interpret that as oppression. So all I'm saying is Americans have this like presupposition that we, that we're free. And the reason is because the reason that we're doing that is because our oppressors are much more intelligent than normal oppressors. They're very wise about the way they oppress people. If you mix in, if you make it complete and total naked oppression, people are going to revolt against that. But if you oppress them in such a way as to make them think that they're not oppressed, then you're golden, because nobody wants to become uncomfortable. So if you mix just enough comfort in with the oppression, you're gonna get to rule a lot longer than if you're just a straight, horrible fascist dictator. So,
Yep.
This president was our biggest ally in the Vietnam War. That's how he got the U.S.'s support behind him, et cetera, et cetera. Janet Jackson has control. Sorry, couldn't resist. So, yeah, I mean, the state is oppressive, just inherently oppressive. They take our money and promote it for causes that they care about and that they want to advance their agenda. And they don't care about any of us, left or right, as to what we want to do with our own money. And then simultaneous to that, they'll say we're in a capitalist system. But our money, the regular money that's being used by regular people in 2008 was then taken to finance billionaire bankers and the rest of it. And we just had the same thing happen again with COVID last year. So the Americans walking around saying that we're free. I don't know. But it's very interesting to me that the way that he fought back. It's easy for me to say. I'm just looking at back. I don't know what it's like to live under that situation.
Yeah.
So there's a whole bunch of blanks in here that I can't really figure out. But at the same time, I respect the hell out of him for protesting in that way. Because he didn't protest ignorantly. He talked about love, which, again, I know it sounds corny, whatever. But at the end of the day, guys, that's our only hope. That's our only hope.
Yeah.
Sori is motivated with the pro-life thing, and so am I, because we love children and we love their mothers. And my left-wing friends were motivated as anti-war people, and we're prophetically speaking truth to our country at a time when it was not popular to do so. But I believe that was at, whether they're Christians or not, at the center of that movement against war, in the early Iraq days, was they loved their country and they loved just humanity in general. I really believe that. And so whether you're a Christian and you're fighting for babies out of love, or you're a stone cold leftist and you're fighting for, I mean, think about how beautiful that was, all those anti-war protests against, that the left wing was doing during Iraq. Anybody can look at a baby. If you look at a little baby and say, should you kill this person? Most people say, no, we can't do that, right? But these people were protesting for people across the sea they've never met before and would never met before, but they took to the streets. And it's the only thing I can look back at and be proud of as an American. I say, okay, I was wrong on the Iraq thing, but I can be proud and say, you know what? We had a contingent of people that said, no, this is wrong. That represented our country and said, no, this is wrong. And so for that, in my mind, we've got an eternal debt to those people that did that shit. Now, the time has revealed that they were completely right and we were wrong. And the same thing's going to be true with the abortion question. Time's going to reveal the obvious truth about that as well. But I'm glad that, as regards that people were able to stand up for their government. So the relationship between speech, media, the government, and how that works, and propaganda and all that is extremely complex. Extremely complex. Okay, what do you get the song?
So for me, it's probably an 8.3 or 8.6 for sound. But I mean, the guy went to jail over this. And so I can't disrespect and give him anything under than an 11. I mean, he believed in what he was doing so much that he went to prison. That's an 11.
I completely disagree with you. I think the sound was amazing.
It was really
sounded,
good, but
it was like it was Pink Floyd-ish. Some people were talking about the Doors and stuff. I'm not really very familiar with the Doors, but I definitely felt like a lot of Pink Floyd. And then, you had the flute. So it just sounded the dating was perfect. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to give it an 11 as well, but not just because of the historical impact, but I genuinely love the song. It was one of those chill songs. It was about 9 minutes as well. Like, that was one of those songs that I wished really didn't end. I just love the soundtrack of it. And I felt like, you know, like if we went to Korea, you know what I'm saying? Like, this would be like a required song that you had to listen to. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, for sure. I mean,
so really, really good stuff. And again, show me another channel where you're gonna hear that. I don't think you'll find one. Shout out to REVO. Vin out.
Sori out.
Go. Really good song.
All right.
Holy moly.
I will return. Just talk to people.
So I'm about to load up the next joint, guys. We ain't lying. We are flying. No.
Open the door, you guys. Whoever's out there. REVO, I see you have that. Next one is give me some water, right? What is it? Let me pull it up. Here it is. Here's this. Here are my songs. Oops. That's not it. Doesn't look like YouTube. Wednesday. Okay. Okay, so you want to do that? Perfect. Okay, right here. So the next one is give me some water. I'll be right back.
Okay, give me some water is the next track. Hyundai Sue. Hyundai Sue is the next track. What's up, Gothic Wanderer? What's going on? What's going on? How's everybody doing, by the way, while Sori gets back? Wanted to check up on everybody, see how everybody's doing. Everybody having a good time? Everybody doing good? No family tragedies? Everybody doing okay? That's good. That's very, very good. The title sounds hipster. Between my blog, my podcast, and YouTube, there will be nowhere on earth these people will be able to hide from me. Which people, Daryl? What was the name of the last song? The last song was Beautiful Rivers and Mountains. I will give you the link to the song because, like I said, man, it was a chill track for me, bro. I was just chilling. You know what I'm saying? I was feeling it. One of these days, I might do a hip hop classics type deal. You know what I'm saying? Let me try something here. I'm gonna put the link to that song in this thingamajiggy here, and you guys let me know if it allows you to click on the link, okay? So, boom, I just put that up there. The Humane Society illegally adopted them out, so I've been taking them to court. Oh, wow, okay, so you've been fighting for your dogs. They took your animals, huh? That's crazy. I can't believe that. Instead of focusing on changing laws about abortion, why isn't the church more active in educating people about sex? Isn't an ounce of prevention worth a pound of cure? Sex is a topic avoided in Christianity. Well, I do think that in mainstream evangelicals, they're extremely afraid to talk about sex and sexuality. And I honestly don't know where that came from, because if you look at the Bible's pretty graphic about sex and sexuality. And one of my favorite stories about the Puritans was when a woman got her husband church disciplined because he was refusing to provide the woman her conjugal rights. Modern Christianity and how they operate with sex and sexuality is kind of neurotic to me, to be honest with you. It's kind of strange. But as far as sex education, I really don't think that that's the crux of the issue, right? Like, your average 16-year-old knows how sex works. The average 16-year-old knows about condoms and contraception. Certainly, when I was a kid in public school, people came and told us all about it, told us all about the STDs and how to protect ourselves from it and all the rest of it. So I don't think a lack of education in regards to sex and sexuality is the issue. I do think, though, that the conservative wing's almost resentment of social programs especially for assistance for vulnerable women, vulnerable people, but vulnerable women in particular in regards to this discussion. I've been in the back offices of the movement with some pretty big names, and not all of them, because I want to be fair, but many of them have a deep and abiding. Their resentment towards women is higher than their love for children. I'll say it that way. And so I think those are the major issues, is the resentment that a lot of these people have for women, because that manifests itself in an unwillingness to even consider any other social programs that could help vulnerable women, because as we all know, financial constraints are the number one motivation for abortion. So that's what I would say in regard to that. But why sex and sexuality is some weird thing for Christians now, I have no idea. I have no idea where that kind of neurosis came from. Do you think that because it has been monetized? Well, of course, Lisa, look. As I said, I've been in the back offices with these folks, okay? And I won't say any names, but some of folks who have been, I've been with presidential candidates, like literal 2-hour conversations with these people. And here's what I will say. The mainstream Republican Party does not want abortion ended because A, it generates hundreds of millions of dollars a year by these organizations that are there to stop abortion, and they go to the churches and they hey, blah blah blah, and of course the church is like, oh my God, we don't want to, so we'll give money to that. So we won't give money to a social program, but we'll give money to a parachurch organization that's devoted to fighting abortion. But these people don't want abortion ended because that's the end of their honeypot. And the second reason is Republican politicians who are already quadrillionaires don't want abortion ended because that is one of the main staples that gets pushed every 4 years to get people to convince Christians to vote for Republicans. I'll tell you guys, like, straight up, you guys, we operate in multiple circles, right? And we operate in circles you guys don't operate in. And I can tell you, there were Christian leaders who explicitly stated, if you vote for Joe Biden over Trump, you're not a Christian. You've left the faith. Why? Because of abortion. So those Republican politicians don't want abortion ended because you always have that sword of Damocles to hang over people. So, and like I said, I've been in the back office discussions with these people. So, for whatever reason, it's just not something that's important to them. Anyway, Soraya is back.
There's the
and we have the actual song lyrics here, so we're going to be able to do this like right from the jump with the lyrics. So I'm very, very happy about that. And then we'll take it there. Lisa, Sori and I are going to be over on the Middle America stream right after this one. So jump on and let's continue to have the discussion over there for sure. Has Gilmore's guitar solo become your top solo? No, surely it has. No, Chris, I still say that Kirk Hammett's solo in Fade to Black is always going to be my favorite. And it's going to take something massive to overcome that. All right, guys, I shall return, inshallah. Vin,
I'm sorry.
if you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch. Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed.
Here we are with another song. This one is Han Die Su.
And
Give me some water.
Give me some water. This is from the big... You see this guy right here? This little fella
right here, the little guy in the corner. You got to use your finger here. Woo.
That's the big homie.
That's
the
REVO.
big homie.
That's
REVO.
what he looks like in cartoon version. Like.
I'll have him right by my mic. All I need is one mic.
Yeah, he's leaning on it. Aww.
He's leaning on the mic.
Yep.
You did miss Twisted Sister 7 Dusted. Don't worry, we've got 3 other songs to come up, so you should not
have no fear.
Yeah, have no fear.
And per the usual, we break up these songs after and put them out individually, so you'll still get to see it.
Seduct.
So we're about to go into this song. REVO has us on a exploration of, I'm not even sure what the theme is yet. The last song was crazy. Imprisonment, death, dismemberment. No, I'm just kidding.
Nobody was dismembered. You
well, you don't really know how he was assassinated, do
Slipknot
you?
Tushan wants to know what
Tell me
happened.
How he was assassinated.
Hey, read this. Read that.
You guys, what happened to your TikTok?
All right, guys. Well, having said that, here's the song. Give me a water. Han De Su. Let's go.
Interesting.
I was not expecting this.
Wow.
Okay, that's okay. So I'm gonna keep the lyrics up there.
Okay, so was it Tristan? Was that yeah, Tristan. So no joke, I was listening to this and I'm like, as soon as it started, right at the beginning, I'm like, yo, it sounds like that song. It sounds like that song.
What song?
What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong.
Okay.
And I could not remember who the author was, or even what the name of the song was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's just this vague thing. I danced with it. What is it? I couldn't remember. So then you posted in the chat, in the chat. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's what it is. Totally reminded me of a version of that. I liked it though.
Oh, I really did too.
I really, really liked it.
I love Revo's running commentary, guys, and I hope you guys are looking at it when he does it. But Han Dae-soo is basically Korea's first hippie. He had very long hair, and he caused controversy when he debuted in 1968. He grew up in New York. His father was a nuclear physicist. His father went missing when he was 7. He found him later with no memory of his life before, but vaguely recognizing his old family. Dae-soo believes the CIA brainwashed his father. That's because they did. He wrote this song in 1970. Holy shit, I'm having a crazy moment right now.
You okay?
Wow. That's wow. He wrote the song in 1974. The government banned it because they thought it was about waterboarding. He fled Korea for New York the next year and formed a post-punk band. So, just really, really fascinating stuff, man. Really, really fascinating stuff. The name of this, okay, so the lyrics go, give me some water. I am thirsty, give me some water. Water is love, tickling my throat, teasing me, sending me out. Oh, I will go over that hill.
In my travels, if I meet a girl, I will live with her. Give me some water. I am thirsty. If only that rain comes, I will get up again. Oh, but the rain is not coming. What do you make of it?
Well, the song,
it's like Revo said, and
the song was immediately banned, like all the other songs. And water's really interesting. And then the end of the song is the rain is not coming, which is really interesting because for the majority of the song, I was thinking about a glass of water.
Me too.
Right? But he's not asking for a glass of water. At the end of the song, he's asking for rain. Rain isn't coming. Mm-hmm. Which is a slight sort of divergence, but it is significant to me in the sense of if I'm asking for water and I'm begging for water and you give it to me, then, you know, you solve the problem, right? But if I'm specifically talking about rain, then that's out of the human realm. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So if you're begging, if you really want that water, but it's outside of the human realm, then you're completely dependent on some other source to get you that, whatever it is. As Revo is saying, his songs are consistently vague, which you kind of have to do if you're in a country where you can get locked up or whatever for what you wrote. I mean, we literally
reacted to this song and banned it. That's just...
We literally just had reacted to another song, which was a love song, which said nothing against the government, and the homie ended up tortured in prison for a couple of years over that. So,
tortured?
Well, I mean, political prisoners, when they get thrown in jail, generally are not just there for, custodial duties, right?
I can't do it, babe. I can't be tortured for years.
So, it's happening. We're doing that to Julian Assange right now.
All because he was telling the truth.
We're doing it to Julian Assange right now. But
please help him.
So you have to do kind of avant-garde type lyrics to when you're in that kind of a context.
Oh, these rap brothers would never survive.
But it doesn't really matter because even though he did that, they still banned it.
I know. It was so freaking vague.
Where they're like, look, this is vague. I don't understand what you're saying, but it's got to be some code.
But you said water, so
it's about waterboarding, which is really interesting. That's like a master class in projection, right? Like,
yeah.
They were probably the ones waterboarding everybody.
He was asking for water.
Sadak.
Who's gonna
correct?
Please waterboard me, please.
But see, that's one of those things. Like, it's probably because they were waterboarding people, and so it's the guilty conscience thing where you project onto people your issues. So he's taking a song about water or whatever, and they're like, it must be about waterboarding. Here's the funny thing: it might have been about waterboarding. You see what I'm saying? It might have been about waterboarding. Who knows?
You're gonna ask, give me water?
All I'm saying is, when you're in an oppressive situation,
or if the person was asking for water and they were like, he's thirsty, let's waterboard him.
Yeah, if you're in an oppressive situation, you're going to speak in code. Like, so for example, one theory about the Book of Revelation is that because it was speaking against Nero, that it had to be written in code so that if a Roman intercepted it, they wouldn't have known what was going on, but an insider would have known what was going on. It's tradecraft, certain sub, it's called tradecraft. So, and the other thing is that this guy's father was speculated to have some sort of interplay with the agency, and it's not impossible to believe that he himself could have been an agency asset, especially considering its proximity to places like South Korea, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's not impossible that he could have been sending subliminal messages through his music, because the agency is extremely creative, and it's not like there's no connection between him and the agency. He suspects that his father was, and look, there's a lot of shit now that's open sourced about the fact that we did do that stuff. We did experiment with things of that nature. There's a book out called The Book of Honor, if you want to read it. And it just comes out and talks about, all the things that have been released from the agency that they...
Oh my gosh, that must be horrible to read.
And so we had a program. We had a program called MK Ultra that, it's an open source fact. One guy literally jumped out of a building, like broke the glass, jumped out of a building to his death. He was part of the MK Ultra program.
And he did that to escape being tortured?
No, it was part of the MK Ultra program.
Like, I don't understand. That was his job? That's what he was supposed to do?
No, it was mind control. MK Ultra was a mind control program.
Oh, okay.
So they worked with certain substances as well as certain techniques.
God, to control people's minds?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a fact. Like, this is not woo-woo conspiracy shit.
Whoa. So you're saying that they controlled his mind to get him to jump out the window? That's what's written in this book?
No, what they were saying was there are certain instances in which the experimentation did not go well, one of which was the guy ended up jumping out of a window to his death. I mean, there were a lot of things that went into it that, the public knows. My point is that this guy's saying that his dad was brainwashed by the agency is not crazy at all. It's not woo-woo conspiracy stuff. People are talking about Bohemian Grove. No disrespect to the Bohemian Grove stuff, but it's not even at that. It's not even at that level. I mean, this is MK Ultra is a brute and bare fact. So my point is, this guy saying that stuff happened with his dad.
Yeah.
Is not crazy in any way, shape, or form, especially when you line it up with other things. And what I'm saying is, I don't know what he means here. Yeah. And what I'm saying is, I'm not certain that the government was just being super paranoid. This guy grew up originally in America, right?
He did?
Yeah. If you look at his biography, REVO just gave us his biography in the email somewhere, right?
And then he
was born in America, then he expatriated, went back to Korea.
Okay.
Then when he left Korea, he went back to America. You know what I'm saying? So it's not impossible that this guy could have really been saying some shit. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because the agency is extremely, extremely creative in the way that they do stuff. So. Mm-hmm. I don't know necessarily what the song means. Give me some water, I'm thirsty, give me some water. Water is love, tickling my throat, teasing me, sending me out. Oh, I will go over that hill. If I meet a girl, I will live with her. Give me some water, I'm thirsty, give me some water. If only that rain comes, I will get up again. But the rain is not coming, which means he's just going to lay down again. Absolutely, Matt Brady. I would be honored if you would give us something like that, bro, for sure. That's crazy if you would do something like that. We have to make a shrine out of it. But.
That holy shit, that's a huge sacrifice. And
pray about that before you do that, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, we would treasure it forever, but
for sure,
pray about it because that's pretty significant.
Wow.
So yeah, this is a very fascinating song and a very fascinating situation to me, because lyrically you really can't put much together. He's talking about meeting a girl and getting up and all the rest of it, and then he's playing with the kazoo. One of the things that's interesting to me is that his voice, he's not a good singer. You know what I'm saying? Because his voice is kind of grangly and scratchy. And I'm like, same thing with Billy Corgan. And it's like, how do these people, it's so crazy to me about music is like, on the one hand, you can have like a Rob Halford type guy who's like, could be singing in an opera, in my opinion. Probably somebody who's familiar with opera would be like, you're an idiot, you don't know anything about, well, you dummy. But in my opinion, Rob Halford could sing in an opera and he'd look like he belonged there. This right here, like, this guy is not a singer at all, but yet he made his mark. He was very, very powerful. I mean, he's so powerful that, the government was terrified of him.
So I think
but he wasn't a good singer.
I think that there are degrees of poor singers and great singers. You know, I think that you have Floor, who's like next level. Evanescence, she's next level. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these people, Rob Halford, just next level, just unbelievable shit. And then you have like people that are not as great, but they're still, pretty good. And then you have people that you're like, yeah, that's really not very good. But you know what? Because they went all out with their vocal cords, even though they weren't that great, you can respect it. And then, there was somebody that I heard one time, literally the worst singing voice I have ever heard in my entire life. Just absolute travesty on stage singing like that. But the person was, to my understanding, I thought that they were, I can't judge them now. I have no clue. But at the time, my understanding was that the person didn't care what they sounded like. It was about the reason. So for instance, let's say you were singing to bring about a revolution. You don't have to have a Floor-like voice, a voice like Floor. You have to be able to inspire and go out and do it with all your heart because you believe in it. And so that was, to my understanding, why this person was singing publicly, because I thought that it was embarrassing that they were doing it because they were so bad, for so many reasons. But yeah, so this guy, he's not a Floor, right? But he has something going for him. And, he obviously, kind of the way that the government reacted to him would say that he probably believes in what he was doing. And I actually do like the sound of his voice and the way that it kind of goes. Guy? Yeah, like it, to me, went in the same category as What a Wonderful World, which is obviously a classic. That's been around for a very long time, and it had that same sort of vibe to it that kind of makes you feel comfortable. And even when he was doing that weird singing, like Seven Dusted was like, that's what I sound like when I'm yelling at my router. But to me, it didn't even come across that way. Like, there are some songs where it finishes, and I'm like, yeah, I don't like this song because this reminds me too much of parenting. Like, it sounds like the chaos of the kids, or you know what I mean? Like, I've said that on a number of songs. Yeah. This to me was not that. It didn't have a weird sound to it. Even his like yelling thing, I liked it. But I have, throughout the history of the channel, I have liked certain songs that had sort of a desperate-y sort of kind of crazy sound to it. So perhaps his singing has a bit of a crazy sound that I'm not like pinpointing. It's just something, I liked it. I've listened to it again. I liked it.
Yeah, I did. And it's just a very fascinating Man of Mystery. A solid 8 for me.
No, it's a solid 9.6 for me.
Holy moly,
yep,
9.
I really liked it.
You really liked those.
I really liked it.
Well, I think 7 said it the best. That's because talent is cool, but the power of honest expression always strikes a chord with people who can truly appreciate music.
Yes, and I think that there's something that all of us
I agree with that.
love. I'm not sure if I can speak for everybody, but from what I've known, I think that there's something that people love to do, but they're not great at it. And I think that we can really throw in with someone that says, you know what, I'm not as great at this, but I love it, and that's why I'm going to do it.
100%. And so you guys will have to have that mentality when you listen to my vocals on the single that's coming out.
Yeah, I mean, you're not like an amazing vocalist, but yeah, you're going in there. But you are still decent, though. I think you're good. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think that you're like, wow, that could be, you could sing with Floor. I mean, I think you could and it would work because of how your mind is and how great of a singer she is. I'm sure you guys could come up with something that would be badass.
And then that would be the last time y'all would see me because this one would execute me. So that'd be the end of that.
I'd be like, you had to like look at her when she was singing. You're like, yeah, but like. Anyway.
Floor is an amazing singer, but she can't hold a candle to you.
Thank you, Vin.
She can't hold a...
Thank you, Vin. No, you know what it is? Honey, I've come to a new place though because I'm realizing that. Well, I'll tell you that off camera. That's too special for. I love you guys, but this is too special a thing to say out loud publicly. Anyway, so I'll tell you that later.
All right.
Anyway, 9.6 for me. Revo, I really liked it.
Good job, Revo. Next
Revo.
up.
Okay. Well, Vin out, Sori out first.
Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.
Revo, I need you to send me an email, but you're sending it to me, so this is a little bit complicated here. So you're sending the email to me because I want to know why so many meaningful songs are so meaningful to you, which sounds like it should be a long email, but I get like ADD a little bit, so you got to make it short for me, and then let me ask questions, and then you can tell me more if you're willing to tell me more. But I am very curious to know why.
That song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to know too. Oh, we got a super chat. Yay! Super chat.
You know, if you're feeling like typing, Revo, thank you, Zombie
Holiday.
If you're wanting to type the whole thing out, you can send in the same email, just put like Sori version this big, and then you can, type all that you want to Vinny. Perhaps I'll read the Vinny version too, but
there you are, dear listener.
I'm very glad that so when we first started this channel, I know we're trying to move on to the next one. I just have one.
Well, I just wanted to read Zombie Hollow.
Oh, go ahead, read
thingamajiggy because
I
missed the super chat.
Read that after, please. Let me finish saying this, babe. Please.
Go ahead.
So when I first started the channel, like everything that we did, I felt like, well, we have to be honest about how we're reacting to the songs and how are people going to respond to that if we don't like their music. But we were like, well, whatever. We're not going to put on an act when we come on camera. This is how we are when we're off camera. Unless we're having a fighting day, and in which case you still see some tension between us, but we're not going to like put all that out there for everybody. But I like that we can be honest with you, and it's very liberating for me to admit to you guys that I don't want to read big, long emails. That's very liberating for me. Vinny will read them.
I will.
He loves it, not me. Sure.
I will.
Get to the point, and I'll ask you more questions if I want.
This guy right this coon. Look at this boy.
What did he say?
All he's doing is he's doing the little laughing emoji thing because he's got no interest in an actual debate because he knows
he's
what's
wrong.
up.
He's wrong
because he knows what's up.
Yeah, he's very
I swear to God, bro. All right.
Okay, you got to read that other super chat, and then also we just got another one through that.
R.I.P. ears.
Thank you, Overshadow. He says, I wasn't sure we could still super chat during the live streams with music. I'm kind of a caveman.
Nah, you can still do it. I'm just not gonna play it during the song or the review because I really
we're focusing on the DJ.
I'm locked in anyway. I don't see it, so because you guys know how I'm looking at the lyrics and all that shit, trying to listen to the song.
So you had to read that weird condom one. I don't know what it said. I just saw the word condom. So scroll up. Just search for condom. Oh. Zombie-holic. He says, did sex ed in grade 9 a friend stretched a condom and shot it across the classroom?
The teacher shook his head. We were talking about root causes of abortion, and Sister Lisa was talking about what do you call it?
Sex ed.
I'm
sure that's a huge part of it.
And how
it's talked
evangelical Christians are against sex ed.
Yeah.
Undo that pretzel.
You know what? I think that there are times where I do that with the kids, like they us
money.
Says, money. I wish we had like stuff that could come up on the screen, like a little money sign.
We can program that in here.
So anyway,
luckily I'm almost deaf already.
What was I gonna say? I was saying something and I don't remember now.
Don't you wish your kids were in public schools? See what they're missing?
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Sometimes like there's a day where I'm just too tired and the kids do something and I'll be like, I just look at them and shake my head as well. It's just, no. But I'm not arguing with you. I'm breaking that down.
All right, guys. Next song coming up is Thursday, Understanding in a Car Crash. We shall return, inshallah. Vin,
I'm sorry.
if you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go on the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
And the child shall lead them
To buy our merch.
to buy our merch.
Yes, so apparently our town might be going for another COVID shutdown. That's exciting. Although I am very glad.
Where did you hear about that?
I heard about it from a very reliable source, namely my husband Vin. Is that not true?
It's kind of true. They're speculating on it for sure.
Okay, so there's some speculation that might be happening. Anyway, I'm just glad that we got to remove the masks because I wanted to be able to wear flip-flops and no mask because I love the easiness of summer. In winter, we have to like put all kinds of stuff on ourselves anyway. So I'm glad that we were able to take a small break of wearing something over our faces. Super chat!
Super chat!
Thank you.
It says dinero.
Dinero.
All right, guys.
Cool.
This is the band Thursday. The name of this song is Understanding in
you
a
can't
Car.
keep talking. What does it say?
Raha, which I'm assuming
Raha.
it means money. Okay, we're not taking any more super chats because we're doing a song
No,
where
if
we
you
have
send a
some
super
channel.
chat, we'll put them out later after
We'll
the
do
song.
the super chats afterwards, inshallah. Okay, we're like the worst at this business. But I don't care. It's a music channel. I want to get to the music. Damn it!
Yep, here we are.
Here we are. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so-
true. You are never going to see that on any other channel on YouTube. We're not taking any more super chats, Vin says. So when the capitalist me is like, hold on, we will announce them after the song.
Yeah, I
So
know.
go ahead and send them.
Soraya's like, too far.
Yeah. Why did
far.
that be so damn extreme?
Okay, this is the band Thursday. The name of the song is Understanding in a Car Crash. Let's go. I got some lyrics here. And these guys are rocking.
Splintered piece of glass falls in the sea, gets caught. Broken windows, open locks, reminders of the youth we lost in trying so hard to look away.
I love this song.
We followed white lines till the sunset. Crash my car every day the same way. Trying to let this pass. The time it takes to let go.
Wow. Well, that song could go a lot of different directions.
Yep.
I'm assuming I know where your direction would go. So I think mine will be... What do you want to do? You want to start?
Yeah, you go first. Go ahead.
Okay, so per the usual, it's a relationship song. And it was the end of their relationship. And I think that he is... Okay, so there's either two things, and aside from the third that Vin's going to bring up. But to me, it was splintered piece of glass falls and a seat gets caught. These broken windows, open locks, reminder of the youth we lost. So we followed white lines to the sunset. I crash my car every day the same way. So either they literally got in a car crash together and she died when that car crash happened, or he's talking about the end of their relationship and how they used to drive the car together. So, like, if you have a relationship that ends and it was something that you kind of look back at as like a kind of a good time, except for the ending, you can kind of get sucked into the memories of what you're thinking about, and time pushes you forward until all of a sudden, boom, you've hit the crash. And you see this with people as they're, on movies and in real life, when people will talk about people that have passed on before them, they'll be talking about the good memories, and then slowly they'll be like happy, almost like they've forgotten that the person passed away at that point, and it's sort of like this happy time, and then they just curve right, and then they're at the scene of their death. I think that's what it looks like to me, and then all of a sudden they're reliving that. So I don't know if it was, like I said, a real death, or if it's that every night or every day, because he said we follow the white lines to the sunset, I crash my car every day the same way. If that's the end of, like, every day he's thinking about her and how their relationship ended, and then the car crashes because they used to travel together and stuff, and that's no longer happening. Or, like I said, or if she really died. The reason why I think she might have really died was, he says, the broken watch you gave me turns into a compass. It's like, how did the watch break? Did it break because there really was a car crash? Its two hands still point to the same time, 12:03, our last goodbye. So that could be because of the crash, or it could be because their relationship ended, and that's when, he stopped that. Although he starts saying, there was something that he said, yeah, I don't know why he says push the seats back a little farther when they see the headlights. But okay, right here, a dead letter marked return to sender. So if she had passed away, then there would be it would be a dead letter and it would get returned, unless she moved because they broke up, and so now the letter can't get to her because he doesn't know where she is anymore. So I'm not really sure which one of those two I would take it. I would just take it by whatever I was feeling. So if I had a relationship that ended tragically and I was still thinking about the person, that's how I would view it. And if I had, been foolish and it ended up getting somebody killed, somebody very close to me, that's how this song would resonate with me. But I probably wouldn't listen to it in that case. And then obviously there's your tragic interpretation.
Well, I mean, I know the story of this song. I'm very familiar with the song. And it was literal. He had a friend and he said goodbye to her, and she died at 12:03.
What do you mean he said goodbye to her? Were they breaking up?
No, they were just kids at school. Said, I'll see you later. And she died.
Oh,
and the last time they talked was 12:03, or she died at 12:03.
They were kids? Like 9?
Yeah, they were kids. No, like
teenagers?
14, 16,
Wow.
17.
Sad.
This song is what got me through the death of these 4 boys. They all died on Christmas Eve in 2006. And this kid right here, and Matt Manley, the first one, used to work for me. And we were all... Christmas fell on a Monday that day, that year, and we were all going to go play football. So they had a Christmas Eve party on the 23rd, and it was a very weird moment for me, man, because I I just talked to Manly. Manly had a little side hustle.
He did.
He was he's selling these jerseys. So he showed me. He pulled out his phone. He showed me his phone, and there was like these jerseys. And he's like, "Come on, you're gonna want to buy a jersey when we play." And I was like, "Whatever, Manly." And Manly, as you can see right here, good-looking brother, and the girls definitely love the homie. So Manly used to. And you know, you know me, I talk about God or whatever, and you know, he was cavorting with a lot of, and I pulled him aside and I said, "You know better than that to be running around with girls like that." He's like, "Yeah, I know." I'm like, "You're a leader, man. You gotta, you know." He's like, "Yeah." But he was one of those people that he was just. I mean, look at him. He was just, you know, It's hard watching Russell Wilson because he reminds me of Russell Wilson.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
6 people died that day, and I know I'm a bitch for just putting up my 4 friends, but 6 people died that day. So anyway, we all set up to have this big giant football game. Yeah, I know these people. We're all setting up to have like a giant football game, and then Tim, because I used to post stuff or whatever, and Tim was like, "Why don't you come to the party? That party on the 23rd. They were like, you can go to church on the 24th, and then we'll play on Christmas. It'd be perfect." And he's like, "You can sin Saturday, you could pray Sunday.
Sin Saturday,
And because I used to put I had MySpace up. I used to put all the stuff about God on there. They used to call me preacher. They'd be like, "Yo, we got to get Vin fucked up. We got to get him, you know." Come to the club, Vin. You get high and yada yada yada. You know.
Oh my goodness.
He's like, "Come on, get high. We want to see you, preacher. You know, get some girls with you." Blah blah blah.
Oh no.
And they knew I was married. I just had Dorian. It was Dorian's first Christmas because we had Dorian in October, and it was the weirdest thing. I was leaving, and this line popped into my head. These kids think they're gonna live forever. And I turned around. I looked at Tim, and then I just like smiled at him and left. And I came home. So, you know, I came home from church that Sunday, and my phone was blowing up. And I picked up the phone, and like there's all this screaming and yelling in the background, and they're like, Vin. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's up? And the phone disconnected. I actually hung up the phone because I'm like, what? I thought it was just nothing but yelling and screaming. Nothing was legible. And then Tim actually called me back, and they were like, "Yeah, man, Matt didn't make it." And I was like, well, I said, "That's fine. We'll just replace him and play with somebody else." And he's like, "No, you don't get it." He's like, "Matt didn't make it." And yeah, they were all partying that night, and you know, they were saying there was black ice. There was no black ice. It was this kid, Mike Canoyer. Rest in peace to him. But he got behind that wheel drunk, bro. So, and then Kevin and his crew, they were all like behind, and so they saw the accident happen, and they jumped out of the car on the scene, and they pretty much knew that Mike was dead, and then Manly was still moving. Rob and JR were also pretty much died instantly, but Manly was still
oh God,
he was still alive. And so when they called me, he had just died.
Oh God.
He has a twin brother that looks literally exactly like him, so that was tough.
Oh God.
Because we were going to his funeral.
Yeah, and his brother was there.
And his brother was like 2 minutes apart, and it was just, that was hard, you know, like.
Oh my gosh.
So that's one of those things, man, where I'm like, you always say to yourself, like, if I'd have went to that party, I wouldn't have got drunk or high. And I'd have been right there with...
you would have never let them drive. Yeah.
I'd have never let them drive in that condition. And they invited me to go, and I didn't go. So, Kevin, shout out to Kevin. He was... he had a hard time with that, too, because he was about to drive them because he saw where they were as far as, and he left like 20 minutes early. So there's there's a lot of times I think to myself, like, why do you choose to do certain things that I've done, in my life? Because like it was literally like 2 years after that I jumped on and whatever, and did certain things and whatever, and just a lot of situations, man, where if I'd have done something different, there'd people still be here. So, it's one of those things, man, where I'm like, I always say to myself, like, if you have a miss, it's okay because you're setting up for a bigger thing. But I mean, I don't know what's bigger than that. It's four people, 6 people. And if I'd have went to that party, man, everything would have been straight. But I just had Dorian. He was just born. I mean, honestly, he was born in October 20th. And, it was December. So going to that football game was the first time I was actually going to go out.
Yeah.
Like, since he was born.
And you were having a hard time leaving him because you wanted to be home with him. You had already been gone all day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That football game would have been the first time since Dorian had been born that I'd ever...
you were already doing something outside of what you were doing. That
I'd ever gone out. But that doesn't change anything.
Well, why didn't you go? What was your motive?
Because I wanted to be home with Dorian and Shorty,
Right.
Like,
you wanted to be with your family.
Yeah, I get it.
I see what you're saying, Dave.
I get it.
I'm not trying to... the thing is, like, I'm hearing you, and I can see that, obviously, like, there's this survivor's guilt and stuff like that, and I want to relieve you of some of that.
Yeah,
but I understand. There's nothing I can say.
There's a lot of situations where I came up short on that, and people died, So, I understand what you're saying, Like, I get it. I really do, but... Mike's dad had to identify him on Christmas Eve, man. So that's one of those where I'm like, honestly, if I could have traded places with all of them, I would have. But, I don't know. Don't drink and drive, I guess. I mean, I don't really know. But
no, and that's why we tell our kids all the time. We're like, if you land in a situation, call us. I think that a lot of times parents put so much pressure on their kids not to disobey that then they're like, oh, I mean, I'm telling you, I literally sped home so many times. I probably should have died myself. Sped home so many times to make it in time for curfew. And my father would say, well, why don't you just leave 5 minutes early and come home early rather than trying to speed home to come back late? I saw what he was saying, but I was a teenager and I wanted to stay the last possible second wherever I was. And so I would speed home every single night. And it was dangerous. And I don't want our kids doing stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, I know that teenagers will be teenagers, but, if they're at a party and they know that we wouldn't want them to be at that party and they end up drunk and they know that we wouldn't want them to be drunk at that party, like, call us anyway. We are your parents and we're going to be there for you. We're going to pick you up. We'll get you the bucket. You know what I mean? Like, don't put yourself in a situation. Don't put other people in a situation where something like that could happen. But, God, these kids.
Yeah. I went to work and pulled up a recording because I had him on. I just listened to
their last calls.
Yeah, and I just kept listening to it, and like I said, man, like I've lost people after that, you know what I'm saying, in certain situations, but those situations were different. It's like, you know, everybody knew what we were getting into. Everybody knew, like, you know, you might not come home, blah, blah, blah. And like those, like, there's a lot of those situations I'm at peace with. Obviously, one of them not, you know, you have people in your life that'll be like, yo, I would literally die for you, bro. And when that, and you have people that you love, you die for. And when that happens, man, it's a crazy thing to see. Somebody steps in front of something or puts themselves in a bad situation to make sure that you're okay. That's you know, rest in peace, Scooter. But
that's what I thought.
Again, it's different. He knew what he was doing. He knew he was getting himself. We all did, but like these are kids, man. These kids going to, you know, to a party at Christmas Eve. All the timing and all the rest of it. I'm like, I was really upset at God. And to this day, it's like, man, you couldn't let these kids like die a week later, a week earlier. Every fucking Christmas, man.
Yeah.
Like. These parents, this guy to identify his son at I don't understand that shit. I don't get it. I don't see, like, but I you know, I completely trust God as far as like his goodness or whatever, and I know we're not owed anything, but that was that's difficult to upset, man.
Yeah.
But the only thing I can do is, you know, next time try to be more diligent. The next time you hear something like that, you know, at least say something. I'm like, yo, if I'd have said something, then Tim goes back there and says, you would not believe what this guy Vin said. What did he say? Oh, he says that we all think we're going to live forever. Maybe that would have changed something, you know. But I didn't say anything. I just looked at Tim and I left. There's like a lot of situations, man, where like, even in the Bronx, you know, I woke up one time and it was just in my head, something bad's going to happen today. And we're all going up, and the kid in front of me, Matthew Bandu, like, he died that day. And he was right in front of me over some bullshit. It's just like, it keeps happening over and over again. I get these premonitions, and then I watch people die, and then I'm like, I don't know. Shit is crazy, man. It's fucked up. I don't know. Whatever. But I love this song, obviously. You know, I get in certain moods, I listen to it a lot on repeat. Like, I'm sure you're familiar with the song.
Yeah, when it came on, I'm like, yo, this is, wow.
But anybody in the village, man, if you're in some bar or something, fucking call somebody and get a ride. Or get in contact with me. I will buy you a fucking Uber. I don't even care. I don't care. I don't know what your name is, who you are. I don't give a fuck. Just don't drive drunk. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So anyway, rest in peace to them. And you know, anyway, I'm done with this review. It's a
silent count.
It's a silent count.
Yeah.
But it's an 11 for me because I love this song. It's one of my all-time favorite songs. But it helps me, you know, deal with this bullshit. But
yeah.
But it's a good song, Revo.
Wicked good song.
Nah, this isn't the first time I heard the song. Like, this is like one of my favorite songs of all time. So
but he has a whole playlist of songs that he listens to a lot, and so like I'll be doing my own thing and his stuff is playing. So I've never like sat down and like listened to the words of the song. So yeah, that's deep. So, you know, for me it's an 11. I mean, for me it's a silent count. For him it's an 11. I went with silent count. It's a very good song, but going by what, you know, everything we just silent count. That's it.
It's a good song, though. It's a really, really good song. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. Fuck.
Yeah.
It's a good song, though.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Is.
Like,
it is.
Just because, you know, there's a bad, you know, or what people construe as negative emotions or whatever. That's not bad. You know. Right now, death is a fact of life. It's a part of life. And so, you know. I think that I have a gift that not a lot of people have. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people can work these issues out in a community of people who have similar experiences and can help you and relate to you. You know, so I feel really, you know, we've said it a bunch that you guys are, you know, people send us emails. Oh, we love the channel. Thank you. Blah, blah, blah. But it goes, I keep telling you guys, it goes both ways. And that's not marketing or whatever. That's just the fucking truth, man. There's shit that we say on these. Like there's shit that I've said about, I've told that story a million times, but there's things that I said about that story that I've never said before to anybody ever. So, you know, it's all part of it. It's all part of it. So I'm glad you chose that song, Revo. And hell no, you shouldn't have chose it last. I'm glad you didn't choose it last, bro.
I don't want to end on it.
Why the fuck would I want to end this? You know what I'm saying? Why would
honestly,
I want to?
You guys don't know. Like, obviously, you guys are meaningful to me, but I see how you guys impact Vinny. And there are some days where, you know, he's having his own internal struggles and the stuff that he goes through, and he loads up a live stream. And I used to feel like really sad about that. I'd be like, oh, he's not leaning on me. But now I'm like, this is good. That's a very healthy thing to do, to load up a live stream and hang out with your friends. That's really good.
Yeah.
So you guys have helped him more times than you know. And me too, but in different ways than you've helped Vinny.
Yeah. Shit is crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like, life is crazy. It's really, really crazy. And, you know, I'm not the one that had to identify my kids, so I'm the last one out of that whole situation you should feel bad about. I'm the one who... Anyway. All right, guys. We got one more song, guys, from the big homie.
Godflesh. Godflesh. Shut me down.
Godflesh. Hold on. Hold on. We had thanks, VC.
Oh, yeah, there was a super chat there.
Yeah. So we still got to do that shit. Kane Young. I really got to buy you that thing, bro. Because you can do it by your phone.
Yeah.
You'd be able to do it all the time. Yeah. Shout out to Kane Young. On the lighter note, that was perfect. Look at that. That's perfect. Because he sent that shit like, what is it? 8 minutes? No. He sent that like in the middle of the review. And now there we go.
He did?
The kids doing good. The new baby is doing very, very good.
Yeah.
Actually,
he loves laughing.
Did you send me that picture?
I don't know. I can send it to you.
Send me that picture, bro. I'm gonna show y'all something.
So the boys were playing. Here you go.
Another one. Would you pray for my sister Mary and her husband Matt? His dad died a couple days ago. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely, we will. For sure.
I'm just gonna send it here. I think it'll be easier for you.
Yeah.
It said
for
waiting.
sure. Kane asked about how the newest is doing. So check this out, guys. Oh, no.
I was literally just about ready to take a picture. I took my phone out so I could take a picture of them because they were just playing together. And then as soon as I got the camera up, and Orion didn't even see me with the camera because obviously he's facing the other way. Uh-oh. Aw. He pulls Reza in and hugs him like that.
Yeah. Shout out to Daniel
so
Keene.
Reza's eyes are closed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Dustin.
Yes.
I appreciate that, Seven. Yeah, so that's some brother love right there. Brother love. No doubt, Seven. I appreciate you, buddy. All right, guys. Thanks for being there for us, for sure.
Here's another one.
Hold on, where's the air horn? Boom. If we find if somebody's like a consistent one, we'll personalize it. It's gonna be fun.
Love you guys. Cheer the
F up. Life is good. Beautiful kids. You right, bro.
Isn't this the sound? No.
Oh yeah, that's
I thought
right.
We had set it up.
I did, but we wiped this thing. We sent it back to Apple.
Oh.
Okay. Liberal bro hug.
A literal bro hug. Yeah. Aww.
A literal bro hug. I appreciate it.
Okay, so we're gonna do Godflesh. Shut me down.
Right. Remember, guys, no super chats during the songs. Horrible capitalist. Absolutely. Things happen for a reason. That's why I shared this family's gloom with you all. It could save a life or provide insight to the next person in the same situation. Absolutely. Absolutely, guys. So thank you so freaking much, Revo, for making that selection, bro. I appreciate it. I also appreciate it, by God's grace, that it's not the last song.
Me too.
All right. Commercial time, and then we got one more joint for you guys. Stay with me. Vin.
I'm sorry.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, $125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. $125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and then get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at vinsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch.
And the child shall lead them. Andre says, to buy our merch. Okay, guys, we have been doing the Revo stream. It's been extremely eclectic and a little bit emotional, but that's okay, because that's what we're about here. This is about authentic music reactions. We've got one more song in our. We did a 5 straight from DJ Revo.
And so the last one on the list that we are going to go into is Godflesh Shut Me Down.
Godflesh Shut Me Down. And let's just go right into it. Godflesh Shut Me Down. Let's do it. Whoa. Yes, indeed. have returned. Okay.
How long was that song?
I was like 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
Okay,
25.
seriously, if I still lived at my old house, you know I had that bag? The bag? Yeah. It would, if you had like a...
The heavy?
Yeah. It would be a 3-minute intense workout. And so there would be like a series of punches and kicks to each time he hits that thing. And then you have to have all this activity in between when it would be a really crazy 3-minute workout.
I am so happy that you did not save that previous song for last REVO.
Oh, I know. I know.
Because this song, and I like that everybody liked it.
Yeah.
Sometimes, because it's kind of new metal-y in the sense of like, we're going to take one riff and just ride that shit. Remember yesterday, we were listening to a Dream Theater song, and then there was one little section at the very, very end of that song, and I was like, holy shit. They, if it was a new metal band, they would have just took that part and wrote it for 3 minutes and made a song out of it. Mm-hmm. And I thought to myself, like, I bet you anything I could listen to a bunch of old Megadeth and a bunch of Dream Theater and find those little 3-second throwaways that they do and just like write an entire record off of just those things and like look like a genius. Because,
I'm sure.
Yeah. We went on yesterday for 4 hours, Sean.
We're basically we're gonna be on a lot.
Listen, we're gonna be on a lot practically every other day. What I will say is unsubscribe, resubscribe, and click the bell. That seems to work. You will literally find all of you'll get the notifications if you do that. Amy Lee figured that out. But yeah, man, that riff was just hard as fuck. Which, of course, is not like a massively original riff or whatever. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm starting to figure out, it's like, it doesn't need to be, bro. It doesn't need to be. So now I'm like, man, we got to really, really jump back into the studio and just hammer out these songs that I've got floating around in my head, because we've got about 4 or 5 of them that I think are bangers. Because
there's some solid content.
We got one song that's like 5 minutes long, but it's worth it. But we, bring back those 3-minute metal songs, because that's all I could do. I wish what's his face was here. Ben would have been like, oh, nothing but chugga lugga lugga lugga. Shout out to Ben Webb.
Yeah.
And shout out to everybody, guys. The streams are all, they're all recorded. They're all up there. So you guys aren't missing much. It's all good. Okay. What did you think the song was about?
I don't know. It was like I said, it was a workout song for me, and it was like just energetic and, well, not energetic, but more like it assaulted you. Boom, 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 like that. Instead of it being like, so it wasn't like yippee energetic. So yeah, it was good. I don't know, I don't know. What do you think it's about?
Daryl says, Godflesh and Dream Theater are like the opposite. Sometimes I wonder how many notes John Petrucci plays per song. I agree. It was cool too to watch Petrucci yesterday, because you were able to see him on a multitude of occasions live, and just what the guy does with that instrument is ridiculous. Ridiculous. But yeah, as Sean is saying, like, it's time to pump you up. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like that. This song is like, the guitar is crazy. It's like really driving it, and I just love heavy music, so that's what I'm about. Okay, what did you think the song was about? We got the lyrics up here.
Yes,
so
we literally asked me this question 4 minutes ago. I'll say the same thing again.
What did you say?
I don't know. And I said, what do you think it's about?
Oh, my bad. REVO, where you at, big homie? Where's the big homie REVO? Where'd he go? Okay, so here are the lyrics. REVO will respond soon, inshallah, and then we'll be able to figure it out. Veins full, breakdown, escape, hold on. It will never end now, die now. Don't take anything that will be you. Don't take your soul, all end, all end. And that was pretty much it. Those were the lyrics. So I had a quick kind of idea. The name of the record is a world lit only by fire, which is a pretty cool That's a pretty good name for a song. A World Lit Only by Fire. I initially, I just thought of it as drugs. I thought of it as drugs telling the guy to basically leave me alone, shut me down, stop doing drugs, basically.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, the first line is veins full, so that's where I went, because veins full, and it's a metal song, so that's what I assumed.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily
don't
mean
take
it's
anything
right.
that will be you. Don't take your soul. What do you think? You mean like, you know, like sometimes we saw the people that were like addicts and they were having a hard time to not do any sort of drugs, and when they were in that situation, it was almost like they were willing to give up every bit of themselves to get
for
that
the drug.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, you're right.
We actually have 6 kids.
Rest in peace, ears. That's what somebody said one time. Rest in peace, ear. Where you guys can hear our music, we've got a 15-second clip. Don't we have a 15-second clip on Patreon of the song?
Yeah, there's a little clip on Patreon. Well, I think so.
Okay. But Alan says veins full could be adrenaline. Doesn't necessarily have to be drugs, which of course adrenaline is a drug, but you guys know what we're saying.
What was that message that Revo said?
Revo says, hell if I know. This was a third to the $8.99, the last poll. All the other songs I have explanations for.
See, that's what I was going to say about him. I was pretty sure that he picked something that they would. But want.
If I was in an alliance, I'd have to get Revo on the team. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Veins full could also be adrenaline. But the reason I said heroin, because it says veins full breakdown, escape, hold on, it will never end now, die now. So it looks to me like the person is like a drug, you know, escape, it's almost like the drug is being anthropomorphized and is now like talking. Yeah. So if I'm heroin and I'm talking to the person, veins full breakdown, escape, hold on. So you're taking the drug to escape, but simultaneous to that, you're trying to hold on to, you know, your sanity, your life, whatever. And that's a very, very difficult line to tread when you're on drugs. Right? Yeah. Like it's almost impossible to make that distinction. Mm-hmm. End now, die now, which again could be either end the drugs now or die now. You can't have life and drugs at the same time. Right?
I thought it when you said it was about drugs, when it got to that part, I thought it was end now, as in when you put it in and then you're done. You're done giving yourself the drugs. Die now was the way that you're feeling as you're slipping into it.
Yeah. Wait, say that again.
End now is when you stopped injecting yourself with the drug or however you took it.
I see what you're saying.
And then die now was the way that you feel when the drug comes through your body.
Yeah, and end now, die now can also be if a person is heavily addicted to something like heroin. They might be saying, look, I can't end it now because if I did, I'd die. Which is actually true for a lot of them if they're not detoxing in a among professionals. Yeah. Right? Like people have literally died detoxing because
seek out a professional.
Yeah, seek out professional help.
Don't let that stop you. Don't be like, well, I can't really stop because I don't have a professional. Get a professional. Yeah. Don't wait.
Yeah, get a professional. Faz all. Don't take anything that will be you. Don't take your soul all in. I think he's saying don't take anything that will turn you into something else. Don't take anything that will be you. Don't take your soul.
Oh, yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when it says be you, that's...
They take over you and they are you.
Yeah. Don't take anything that will be you. Will take over. It's really interesting. I was listening to Jordan Peterson, and I'm still not sure what they mean, because they can't mean literally what they were saying, but they were talking about spirits. They're talking about alcohol, and they're saying that it was
microphone, and when you're jigging your fingers on it, it goes into their ears.
It was nicknamed. Well, I can hear everything in my microphone.
You can? Oh, they were saying it the last time that it was affecting you.
Yeah, I could hear it.
Oh, and it's not?
Yeah. Well, now it is, but
a little bit. Okay. Yeah. All right. As long as you know. Go ahead.
Yeah, but it's not my concern. Because it's not something I'm worried about.
Channel.
It's our channel. So I don't care.
All right. So what did he say?
What did who say?
Peterson.
So he was talking about, because alcohol used to be called spirits.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I remember this
And he was saying that, there is some sort of spirit in that substance that makes you do something different. Mm-hmm. And the other guy was like, yeah. And they were talking about DMT and all the rest of it. And they were talking as if they believed that there is some sort of ontology in these substances that then you ingest becomes part of your ontology, which then temporarily puts you in these altered states of consciousness. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if these are two massively intellectual people, and sometimes when you're eavesdropping in on very intellectual people talking, sometimes they talk in metaphor and they have understandings with each other, and they're not aware that regular plebeians are watching them. So mm-hmm. I don't know if Jordan meant that literally, or if he was using that figuratively. The guy he was talking to was like out to Mars, man. The guy was crazy. Well, I think he was high when he was talking to JP.
Oh, really?
But he's such a crazy scholar in a very, very specific discipline that there's literally like 2 or 3 people on the planet mm-hmm. that can do what this guy. I mean, he was rubbing shoulders with Jung and all the rest of it.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. Yeah,
he was contemporary?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, this guy was mega old, and he was taking shit with Hume, and they were going off into the ether.
Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like, how many people? You know what I'm saying? So Jordan was gonna he was gonna talk to him. You know what I'm saying? Because so it's just a very weird discussion, but it does kind of possess you. Like some of these substances do kind of possess you and take you over. And the way the Bible describes demon possession is pretty, like, you look at an alcoholic, right? And it looks like, there are some times when you're looking at an alcoholic and a demonized person, they're very hard to tell the difference. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, and in my mind, I'm not trying to insult the alcoholic by saying, "Oh, you look like a demon," because in my mind,
I disagree with you.
The same principles are at play with both of them. Go ahead.
Well, just any of the people that I've seen that were demon possessed did not look at all like drunk. Like there was but that might be just because of who I am.
Well, you have a very, how many truly drunk people have you seen in your life?
I mean, I saw a lot. My uncles and people that I know. Yeah.
Fuck 'em.
I mean, I've seen.
Is it that guy?
Well, I would always. They'd all get.
Is it the one that if I see him, he's got?
Oh, he would be one of them. Yeah. But I don't. They weren't like. I guess
that guy's in a
wheelchair
floor now, isn't he?
He is now.
All right. Well, Allah has already done what He needs to do to you. So, whatever.
But yeah, I mean, I've seen drunk people on a number of occasions, and I've also seen people that were demon possessed, and to me, they were not the same thing. But I'm saying, or even that they even looked the same. They didn't look the same.
Violent drunks.
Just angry drunks.
Violent drunks are
beating people up. I haven't seen that. No.
Yeah, violent drunks are a different ball of wax, and I'm not saying I'm not saying literally. What I'm saying is, it's very, very hard to tell the difference. As a matter of fact, I've seen a couple demonized people be extremely docile. Mm-hmm. It's terrifying when you're in the room with them mm-hmm. because it's sort of one of these things where it's kind of like seeing a cobra, like as it's about
mm-hmm.
to as it's leaning back about to do some shit. Mm-hmm. So it's still the atmosphere is complete. I mean, you've been in those situations. The atmosphere is different. But what I'm saying is like
for sure
the idea that you're looking at a person, but there's some other principle that's guiding their decisions is the thing. It's the connection I make between alcoholism and demon possession.
Yeah.
It's just like there's just, and you look them in the eyes, and it's a very unsettling feeling because it's them, but it's not them looking back at you. Mm-hmm. And so, and of course, if I'm a secularist, there's a whole bevy of explanations for that for sure. I'm just saying like, just emotionally what it looks like and what it sounds like and what it feels like. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I mean, it's, and this is not, and ironically, this is not to demonize people who are alcoholics, because from a biblical worldview, people who are demonized are generally people that you should feel some love for, and as people that need your assistance in overcoming this issue. Mm-hmm. So demonized people are never looked at as like horrible people. As a matter of fact, the people who do not treat demonized people well are looked upon negatively. So like the Gadarenes, for example, the way those people were with that person, they're not portrayed very well in the text.
Yeah.
And so people who judge folks who are addicted to who are possessed by, I'll say it this way, I'll scrap the word addicted and say possessed by strong drugs like heroin or alcohol or whatever, to judge those people is completely contrary to what we're supposed to be and what we're supposed to do, is the point. So, but Christians do a very good job, I think, of saying, oh man, that person's demonized, that's terrible. But then when the person's an alcoholic, they'll just go, oh, it's not alcoholism, you're just a drunk. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it's not drug addiction, you're just a waste. Like, shout out to John MacArthur. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how they talk about him. It's just all this judgment. It's like, well, shit, I'd rather die in a gutter than be in your congregation and hear people talk shit about a whole group of people they have no idea about. Shit is just crazy to me. A lot of these people don't even know about the nature of addiction and what it means. So again, I'm not saying that once you ingest alcohol, you now are demonized. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the effects of certain drugs and the effects of a person who's demonized from a Christian worldview, many times you can't make the distinction if you're just going by the aesthetics. That's my point. Right. So I want to make that very, very clear. I will say, because, you know, Alan is saying, does cannabis demonize people? What I will say about cannabis or any mind-altering substance, though, is that, and this is one of the things that makes me so fascinated about DMT, is that, and it's like I wanted to jump through my screen when I was listening to Jordan Peterson talk with this guy, because Jordan Peterson was like, well, he's like, there's got to be some, because they were speculating about, you know, Christianity and DMT, and for example, looking at Revelation, and John is on this random island, and so they were like, well, maybe he ran into some, you know, whatever, and he had this esoteric experience, blah blah blah, and like, so JP was like, man, there's some connection between this and Christianity. I just don't know what it is. And I'm like, JP, you dumb butt. Because the word for sorcery, for example, in the New Testament, the word for sorcery in the New Testament and the Old Testament is pharmakia.
Surprise.
Pharmakia, as in pharmacy. That's the Greek word for sorcery. And it's obviously clear that in the in those cults that sprung about, you know, in that period, narcotics were absolutely almost central to the practice of the religion. So there is a correlation between these substances, cultic practice, and demonization. And so for me, there's so much about consciousness that we do not know.
Yep.
When you think about the hard problem of consciousness, for example, there's so much about consciousness we don't know. And it appears to me that some of these substances are opening up certain spiritual and ultimate realities. I look at where I am right now is that this stuff is a shortcut to the real world. So the world we're in right now is not really the real world. But when people go on these DMT trips, they're getting a grain of sand from the authentic world, what they're seeing. And, you know, Terrence McKenna has talked about this, where he said there are shamans and people who can have those experiences without the DMT. So I think to myself, okay, so why does the Bible say no pharmakia? And I think it's simply saying, yep, you can have access to that world, but you can't take this shortcut, because if you take this shortcut, I'm not there on that tour. So there's like two different ways to visit this jungle or visit this sideshow or whatever you want to call it. One way is to be so in tune with the divine, which is ultimate reality, that he then says, okay, this is what ultimate reality actually looks like, but that's born out of an actual connection relationship with God. But if you don't want the connection and relationship with God and you want to go a detour and take your own way, then you're opening yourself up to a tour guide who may not have your best interest at heart, which is one of the reasons why when you look at like the forbidden fruit, for example, right? So I'm at the point now where I'm like, okay, the Old Testament uses term like fruit because there's no category for narcotic or DMT or whatever. But I'm pretty much at the point now where I'm like, okay, that thing, whatever they ate, was a DMT type substance because they ate something and then it opened up their consciousness.
Right.
And it obviously had epigenetic ramifications because they were never able to go backwards after that as far as go back to a point of so you know, that's one of those things. I just think that those things are out there, and the more science we learn, the more we realize that those weird superstitious shaman back then were actually right and knew what the fuck they were talking about. Especially when you hear about this ayahuasca stuff where people were like, okay, because you've got the MAO and you got this MAO, right? So when DMT hits you, you've got this chemical in your body that stops it. So boom, it's called MAO, right? That stops that so that you have a shortened experience. But if you add ayahuasca to the DMT, the ayahuasca is an MAO inhibitor, so now you can have a longer experience. And so when McKenna and all these guys are looking around and saying, how the hell did you guys figure that out? That's kind of random. The shaman said, the plants told us. Okay, say what you want. Say all that's bullshit, plants don't talk, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's fine. The problem is that you've got all these post-enlightenment brilliant people, all these Western philosophers who are at the pinnacle of human ingenuity, so-called, and they don't have a clue as to how that came about. And we're going to them to figure out how to navigate these experiences. So I'm going to go ahead and say those people are the authority. I know that Westerners think that if you didn't go to some school or whatever, you're not authority. But I'm going to take the people who've been doing this shit for literally thousands of years before the Bible was written. I'm going to go ahead and say that when they say the plant told them that, I'm going to go ahead and agree. Because all of us know with DMT, something else is happening.
Yeah, right. No.
Something else is happening when people are on these DMT trips.
That's obvious.
That's obvious. So, and to Alan's point, so they've become like us. Correct. I believe that was a major point.
It's an interesting breakdown for sure.
Yeah. So there's a lot. Drugs and consciousness and how that all works together is massively fascinating. And what I love about the concept of DMT is that all of these brilliant, the arrogance of the Western world, man. Just the arrogance of we know everything. All those backwoods people. I hear it all the time when we talk about the Bible. All these backwoods people, blah 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 blah. And now it's like, well, maybe people knew things we didn't know. Maybe that's true.
Right.
Because now you've got the most brilliant Sam Harris. These are the pinnacle of the Western intelligentsia. All of them now are going to these shaman and submitting to these shaman.
So what do you make of that?
So do what you. But this is the ridiculous American Western Anglo-Saxon. We know everything. You people are backwoods cave people. Blah blah blah. And I think it's cool that guys like Sam Harris and Rogan, especially a guy like Sam Harris, like is willing to explore that stuff because he's made his thing, by ridiculing people for having strange beliefs or beliefs that he thinks are strange. Well, I don't know if he's ridiculing people. I think his disciples do. I'll say that. You can't put that on him. His disciples are doing that. So yeah, I think it's really fascinating. So not a lot of deep lyrics in the song, but it actually
struck up a conversation.
Struck up a very what an eclectic freaking very, very. Hold on. So Revo hasn't done a super chat, but he's gonna have to get one of these, man. Revo, this is a really, 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 really good collection of songs. I really thought he did a really good job. And what I loved, my favorite part, and don't feel any pressure about this, guys, but my favorite part about this stream in particular was the breakdowns of the historical stuff behind the song that we're able to see and we're able to put up there, because when Revo does it, like, I get to read it and it's really involved in stuff, and it's very hard to like translate that to people in such a way that it flows. But it was cool because Revo was doing it in little chunks, and I was able to put it up there, and then people had more of a way of getting it. And understanding. I just thought, and like I said, I'm not putting any pressure on anybody. Revo is extremely involved in this stuff, so he does a good job doing that. So I'm not putting any pressure on any DJ or anybody else. I'm just saying that's Revo's style, and he's been like that for years. So I really appreciate that. Kudos to the homie.
With that said, I give the song a 9. What do you give the song?
If the plants told them, then why can't they speak to anyone else? Are they the only ones that can hear the plants talk? Well, I mean, there is a sense, Daniel, and I don't know, Daniel, if you listen to a lot of this Joe Rogan stuff, but there is a sense in which a lot of people are having a conversation with these plants. That's what they say. They say that the lady, actually one of them called her Lady Ayahuasca. A lot of these people think that the entities that people meet are just emanations from the plant itself, which on a scientific level it would have to be, right? Because that's the substance that they're ingesting. It's the only variable. And it's funny because Daryl McMillan answered the question immediately. Mother Ayahuasca speaks to anyone who takes her. Right. Now, again, as a Christian, what I'm saying is the Bible says don't do that. Mm-hmm. Get to the ultimate reality by dealing with the God who is ultimate reality. Don't take a side route, because if you take a side route, there's lots of people that have very negative trips in DMT as well and are extremely terrified. Yep. So there's that. So anyway, what did you give the song?
I gave it a 9. What did you give it?
This is a 10 for me. This is a 10 for me. The reason it's a 10 for me is because of just how rockin' the riffage was, and the lyrics were compacted. There was a flow of thought to them, but at the same time, it was vague enough to where you could have interpreted it in a bunch of different ways.
Okay. Yep.
So that's why it's a 10 for me.
Makes sense.
There you are, dear listener. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone. I would imagine God created Psychotria viridis and Banistrupius Kappa. I don't know what that is. Guys, if you are interested, we're going to Middle America. We've got an hour-long Ask Us Anything that we're doing over there. So if you're politically inclined, we will be over there. We'll be over there. And having said that, you beautiful people, love your neighbor, take care of each other. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone.